If it says. Okay, where's the link? Where's the link? I just put it up today. Why can I never find? There it is.
We're good here.
Well, yeah, but I need to be good too so I can test the audio. Okay. All right. Okay, we still have a fair amount of background noise in there. Here, let's mute the mic. Try it. Okay, now let's bring everything back. What's that?
Can you turn me up a hair? Just I need to hear you a little better.
Are you that deaf already in
No.
your life that you can't hear me?
No, that's perfect right there. Bang.
My goodness, man, you need to get better ears. I'll tell you, you're
What?
too young to be that like that. You're just too young. You got to be in headphones 30 years to not be able to hear it. That's the rule.
It's probably me listening to music too loud.
All right, 1 2 check 1 2 1 2 check 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Give me some checks, Jaden. Give me some checks.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 3 4. Check 1 2.
There we go. Now we got something we can work with. Okay, good. All right, 12:06. We made it. All right, let's talk to our cameraman, our beleaguered camera person.
Are we muted?
Huh? You're not muted.
Uh-oh.
We don't mute.
2. Mic check. Beautiful day here.
Well, you can hear a mic check, and that means we must be getting close to game time. We welcome you to Locken Stadium and Shelley Ellig Field for coverage of Viking football this afternoon on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, with live video coverage at our website, newsdakota.com. And for those of you on the Valley City State University Athletics YouTube channel, with Landon Peel on our camera today and Jaden Babiak by my side, Ryan Cunningham with you today as we get set for the first of 2 paint bucket games on a beautiful day here in the Cheyenne River Valley. Sun is out, warm temperatures. It's going to be a gorgeous afternoon as we take a look down the Cheyenne River Valley. But today we have 2 teams that are trying to find their way in this one just as fast as they possibly can. The Vikings enter this matchup with a tough record, sitting at that 1-3 mark in the actually it's 1-4 rather overall, and currently a situation of 0-3 inside conference play. And they're going to take on a University of Jamestown team that comes into this matchup today without a win, 0-5 and 0-3 inside conference play, looking for their first victory of the season. And of course, the battle for the paint bucket with all the drama of the Jimmies moving on to Division II status after this year. The future of the game obviously in some jeopardy. The Vikings have decided to put their oarsmen's uniforms on today, going all black for an oarsmen's jersey auction coming up after the game is over. But really, this is about 2 teams trying to get right with the football season coming up. Jaden, it's easy to get up for your rival, but for the Vikings, a little something extra involved here, and that is that what awaits you is a bye week. And so if you drop this game at home today to the University of Jamestown, the taste doesn't go away anytime soon. You got to sit around and think about it for a couple of weeks before you get to play again. There's got to be a lot going on that's inspirational for the Vikings right now.
Oh, absolutely. And you think about, going into a bye week with a win against your rival, that would be huge. That'd be huge for confidence. That'd be huge for momentum. This kind of game, I mean, you look at the picture right here. We got the fall setting, Ryan. We got the trees turning. Gorgeous day. This is a great week for the Vikings to find their way, get a win, and go into the bye week with a bit of confidence and a bit of momentum. And
the Jimmies have been living with that bye week situation. The last time they played was 2 weeks ago when they took on Dickinson State University and got nuked 42-6 was the final score in that matchup. They've had a week off, and they've been sitting on that for a couple of weeks, getting ready to come to Valley City. The Vikings, their last matchup out in Dickinson, the defense was better. They got off the field. Of course, they had some conditions helping them in that situation, but once again, the offense struggled to find its role in a 19-6 loss to a team that is perennial favorite to win the conference championship and move on to the playoffs. And so today, there's a lot of pride in a couple of teams that are really trying to find out what their identity is. Both teams have played 2 quarterbacks throughout the year. Both teams have struggled to protect their passer, and both teams have struggled offensively against various opponents. And so when you're in that situation, you wonder what it is that changes. You wonder what it is that comes around. We were talking about this in the press box here, Jaden. We think it might be a real defensive struggle between these 2 teams today because the offenses have not been able to find an identity this year.
Absolutely, and then you think about the other side of it. If you can find your offense, you're going to be in great position to win this game. And, for Valley City State, I think defending the run game is going to be a very important part of their game today. You said it's going to be a defensive struggle. Both defenses are going to show up. Let's see who can break through offensively and who can find their momentum and find their rhythm, Ryan.
The OR tag was taken off of the depth chart throughout the last few weeks. As far as the Viking quarterback position, it's been Noah Chambers or Avery Thorsgaard. This week, Noah Chambers installed as the number 1 on the depth chart, and the Vikings have had some success throwing the football with Noah. But here's an alarming statistic for those of you that are Vikings fans. With the very limited snaps that Avery Thorsgaard has had as a quarterback, he is the 2nd leading rusher on this Viking football team with 170 yards on the ground. Lagarius Marshall's the leader at 182, and he has only 26 carries all year. So the Viking run game has struggled to find its role, and when you've got that going on, you have the tendency to turn to the passing game. But Jaden, you and I have seen it. That young offensive line, they've really struggled to protect the passer. That's going to be the big key to this one. If the Viking offensive line delivers today, they've got a really, really good chance at winning the football game, but they've got to protect the passer today.
Absolutely, Ryan. You said it best. That offensive line has to show up. That's going to be a big part of today's game. And let's see that offense when that offensive line shows up. Let's see that offense when that offensive line delivers. Could be a very different look for Valley City State this afternoon.
Meanwhile, the Jimmies, they're between quarterbacks. Nick Martinez is listed as the starter, but he has less passing yards than Johnny Gran, who is the backup on the depth chart. And this is a team that has run the ball just 79 yards a game throughout the course of the season. They've struggled to find a running game. Their leading rusher is not going to be, at least it would appear, in the football game today. But the one thing that Jimmy quarterbacks have done well this year is spread it out to a lot of different receivers. They've got 5 men that have caught the ball for over 100 yards on the season. And so that means that the Viking defenders are going to find themselves in some one-on-one situations today. You've got to affect that passer in the Viking pass rush. That's definitely going to be a big factor today. They can't let whoever plays quarterback sit back there and have all kinds of time to pick you apart.
Well, absolutely, and if you have a handful of weapons, it's not just 1 or 2. You know, you're going to have a busy day. You know, that Viking secondary, it's going to be a lot of coverage in that secondary for the Valley City State Vikings if they have weapons. Jamestown, a lot of weapons on for the quarterback to pick out. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting day today. We're expecting a great crowd here, obviously, with the beautiful weather that we have upon us. Early start for this one. It's the Egg Bowl today for Valley City State, and First Community Credit Union getting involved. There's some agricultural implements out there. I think I saw a combine on tracks the Vikings would like to steamroll through Jamestown with. And, of course, somewhere around here, as they start the national anthem a little early. Okay, they took care of that now. That's a false start on the press box. 5-yard penalty, still first down. Okay, but as they get ready for this one, they've got some agricultural implements in somewhere out there. There's a paint bucket. I'm not sure where it's at right now, but it will make its appearance on the sideline at some point because that's what we play for. We're playing for it twice this year. We'd like to keep it in the Valley at least a few more weeks. It's a big deal on campus, isn't it, Jaden?
Oh, big time. This game means so much for both these schools, and you can feel the energy. You know, everyone's getting out early, tailgating. The beer's a little colder, the food's a little warmer. This is a great matchup to be a part of.
Should be a good time today. When we come back, we'll take a look at where we're at as far as the conference standings are concerned coming into today. Kind of run down where we've been in the season thus far. We'll also take a look at some of the players to watch in this one coming up. A couple of big names on each side of the football. And our starting lineups in football scheduled for a 1 o'clock kickoff this afternoon from Shelley Ellig Field in Locken Stadium in Valley City. It's the Vikings and Jimmy's in another paint bucket game. This is our coverage of Viking football on KOVC, the voice of the Valley, with video coverage at newsdakota.com. And you can find us, of course, at the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel. We're back with more in a moment.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News & World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
This is Dr. Amanda Heck, physical therapist with Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Valley City, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Enderlin. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. From sports injuries to work-related injuries, neurological diagnosis, and pediatric development delays, we will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football today here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, with our special coverage for video coverage on newsdakota.com and on the VCSU Athletics YouTube page today. It's the Vikings and the Jimmies getting set for game 1 of 2 between these two teams this season. Our pregame report brought to you today by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all and here for good at Sanford Health in Valley City. Let's take a look at what we have as far as our standings coming into today's matchup. And you can see that in those conference standings, we do not have those correct. It's not even close. Now, we had some technical difficulties before we got into today, and so we apologize for that, folks. We had to rework a number of different things when we got into the press box today because things did not stay the same. In fact, we were told that they had to make some changes throughout the course of the week that we were not told about. So with that, let's see if we can't find those standings a second time here. And nope, we're not going to have them. Those are volleyball standings that we have for you today. So for those of you on the video feed, again, our apologies. We had that taken care of at the beginning of the day. And for whatever reason, the work on these press boxes just has continued to a point where we're not ready to start the season. And it was a little frustrating to have to kind of work through some of those issues. And so for all of you that are tuning in today for video coverage expecting a little bit better from us, we certainly apologize for what it is that we are able to bring you today. We apologize for that, but we can go ahead and tell you what those are as we get started today. And what we see is Dickinson State with a 3-0 mark out in front of the conference right now with a record of 4-1 overall, 3-0 inside the league, but it's Mayville State that is the surprise. 3 straight wins in the league for the Comets. Their only loss was to Dickinson State. They beat Dakota State. They beat the University of Jamestown. They beat Valley City State in succession. And so that is the real story of the season this year as far as the conference is concerned. And the other story is that a couple of teams that have had long-standing success when it comes down to the North Star, well, they're 0-3, or I should say rather the DAC in the North Star. The University of Jamestown's history in the North Star was short, obviously, but for the Vikings, always a front runner for a conference championship. This year 0-3, the University of Jamestown 0-3. Those are some big issues that the Vikings have had throughout the course of the year, the Jimmies have had as well, and that really sort of strikes you as a situation where, wow, didn't expect that, right? And so all of a sudden you've got 2 0-3 teams in the league that are playing for a conference championship at this point.
Yeah, like you said, standings a little weird this year. Not something definitely that I'm used to in my college career, Ryan. And, you know, for Mayville State, taking care of business against their opponents on that 3-game win streak. And, yeah, the surprise of the year.
So, again, a 3-0 mark for Dickinson State, front leading, I guess you could say, or front running the conference at this point. And, you know, when you take a look at Mayville State and the success that they've had, the Vikings ran into Mayville State last weekend, and or actually 2 weekends ago. And a good game, a 1-score game at that point, but the Vikings really couldn't get their offense going in that matchup. Neither could Mayville State. That was the interesting part about it. It was just a battle of the running games all the way through in that one. And when you take a look at it, the offensive lines really have been the difference all year, is the ability to protect a passer, the ability to open up some things. We talk about it being sort of old school. It is old school, but it means something. Those offensive lines have been really, really an interesting thing this year.
100%. And you know, their footprint on the game isn't necessarily, you know, out in the spotlight. It's really in the trenches. And, you know, Ryan, like I said, I want to see that offensive line deliver today for Valley City. Let's see what that offense might look like with that offensive line on.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we need here at this point, is to kind of come up with something in those situations that with that offensive line, again, if the Vikings can really get that going in their favor today and protect that passer, they're going to have something that's really special. But they haven't been able to do it yet this year. We'll see if Jamestown and the University of Jamestown is the team that they can do it against. So, again, what we're going to do here is we're going to take a pause in our pregame report. When we come back, we'll try to bring you those standings so you can see them on the screen. And then we do have, as we were able to verify, our Vikings and Jimmy's to watch here today, so we can talk a bit about that as well and get you ready to go along with the upcoming schedule for the Vikings today. And again, our apologies for some technical difficulties. It's only game 2 here in the box, but we had to have people come up and help us, and we really didn't get things ready to go until just a few minutes before airtime, which we're hoping is not going to be the norm here in these new digs. We got new digs for a reason to make them work a little bit better, so let's hope that that comes around for us at some point. We're in our pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health, Valley City, here for all and here for good. We'll come back with more. We'll take a look at those players to watch in just a couple of moments as the pregame report rolls on. This is our coverage of Viking football here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, NewsDakota.com with video coverage and online at the Valley City State University Vikings Athletics YouTube page. We're back with more in a moment.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. Get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football today on the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube page, NewsDakota.com with video coverage, and of course on the Voice of the Valley and the Voice of the Vikings, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Landon Peel, who is from Lemoore, North Dakota, joining us today. So we've got one from Canada, we've got one from the United States, we've got one from down in Lemoore County. I don't know, what do they have for counties up in Canada, Jaden?
To be honest with you, I have no idea what county I live in.
Is there a county up there? Or do they have counties or something?
I've heard of some. I've heard of
like
places
parishes
without some. There's hamlets, there's cities. We got cities.
You have cities in Canada?
We have cities, towns.
Okay.
Those are in Canada too, but to be honest with you, I don't know how we divide our land up there.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah,
you know.
Hey, fair enough. Fair question.
I mean, Landon's in here, and he's still sporting the Lemoore Lobo logo, the leggings. That's cool stuff right there. Yeah, I like that. That's actually pretty good. That's one of the better logos that they have out there, right? And then, of course, when people, what's a Lobo? They don't really know. You have to tell them it's a wolf, right? You know, that kind of thing, right? I like we were talking about some mascots and things like that. It's good to be mysterious when it comes down to your mascots, don't you think? When you were playing high school ball up in Canada, what was your team name?
We were the Padres.
What?
Yeah.
You were the Padres?
Yeah, the Edmonton Padres.
You just rip off stuff from the United States?
That's what I guess that would do. There's a few that would just do the old MLB team. Well, that's us now.
I like it. I like it a lot. Hey, I mean, if you can get away with it, right?
Exactly.
Hey, because we demand perfection, folks, we did have an opportunity to fix up our technical difficulties with the standings. And so the NSA standings, you have them in front of your screen right now, and now you can see them. Now, again, you can see that our background photo, the background changed there, and that's the problem that we had with our interface with Viking equipment today. But Dickinson State ranked 20th in the country in the latest rankings. That was worth mentioning to you that after their win over Valley City State, they moved up a couple of spots. They're currently number 20. Mayville State, Dakota State, good records inside the league at this point, and all with 4 wins. Those top 3 teams. The Vikings 1-4, however. University of Jamestown 0-5, and so you can see kind of where the season has gone along, but those are our standings as we continue with our Sanford Health Valley City pregame report. Hey, let's take a look at some of the players to watch in this one, starting with the Vikings to watch coming into today, and we start with the defensive side of things. Gavin Gerhardt, 48 tackles on the season. He's the team leader in that category. He has 23 solo tackles as well. That's a sophomore right out of Valley City playing in the safety spot. He's been so much fun to watch, Jaden, and he's been very impressive. Active defensively. Not a big guy, but he's been big.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like you said, a little hometown hero there for the Vikings. And yeah, he's going to be a big player in today's game, and you know that defense is going to have to show up big to beat these Jimmies.
Absolutely. Colby Jones, he's come on as of late. 6.2 yards per carry out of Dickinson State last week. He had a very, very nice day running the football for Valley City State. And Armani Smith, there's a guy that's a freshman out of Beulah, North Dakota, and we've called his name a lot for a guy that's playing off the bench. That's a really interesting season that he's had. It seems like as the game goes on, he finds his way to get into games, and he seems to make an impact every time he's in one.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's big to have that, you know, that off the bench. And, you know, you always have those kind of guys that you look to at the end of those games, late in those games, to make those big plays. And I think Armani Smith is going to be that guy today for the Vikings.
Great number of tackles coming into this one today for Armani Smith. He's had a really good run for Valley City State. As far as the Jimmies to watch for today, well, a guy that lands in front of you is Jed Rance on the right-hand side of your screen for those of you that are looking in. Jed Rance has 51 tackles this season. He's got 6 for loss. He has just been an absolute animal in the middle of a linebacker core that has done a pretty good job for Jamestown overall this year. Their linebackers have been very good. Colton Schumacher, 141 yards receiving this season. He's the leader in that category, but he's not listed among the starters here today. But 141 yards leading the team as far as receiving yards is concerned. And then Ethan Hoffman, there's a guy, 13 catches, 134 yards, couple of touchdown receptions this year. So you can see when we take a look at the Jimmies to watch in the statistical breakdown, the leaders on this team, on the defensive side first and foremost, and then a couple of pass catchers. And that's what we talked about. Jamestown's had a very good run of spreading the football around this year.
Absolutely, and again, that's going to give Valley City State a headache today. If they can spread the ball out among 4 or 5 wide receivers, that's going to make for a lot of possibilities, a lot of openings, and, you know, maybe something that can help this Jamestown offense find some rhythm.
Absolutely. Those are the Jimmies to watch, the Vikings to watch today as we continue with our pregame report today, brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. We'll come back with more in a couple of moments, so do stay with us as we continue with our pregame report, talk about what's coming up in the future for Valley City State as we get ready to kick this one off today. And I think our kickoff's going to be a little bit later than normal today. We were projecting 1 o'clock, but it looks like our clock has us on pace for a 1:05 kickoff that we'll have this afternoon. You're going to see some black Viking uniforms today. We'll tell you more about what that means coming up in a couple of moments as well. So stay with us as we continue our coverage of Viking football. It's the paint bucket game, the Vikings and the Jimmies today, right here on KOVC, the voice of the Valley and the voice of the Vikings, along with the Valley City State University Viking YouTube page and video coverage online at newsdakota.com.
Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Olang hard to the basket with a 2-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Olin can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmies.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
This week at Lever's Foods in Valley City, save on boneless beef chuck roast, $5.99 a pound. Jif peanut butter, 2 for $5. Kellogg's cereals, $4.29 each. Campbell's Homestyle soup, 2 for just $2.88. And extra large red seedless grapes, only $1.99 a pound. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. Let us help you become our next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
This is Dr. Amanda Heck, physical therapist with Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Valley City, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Enderlin. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. From sports injuries to work-related injuries, neurological diagnosis, and pediatric development delays, we will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football today here on KOVC, the voice of the Valley and the voice of the Vikings, along with video coverage at newsdakota.com. And, of course, you can find us at the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel today as well. It's the Vikings and Jimmy's today as we continue with our pregame report, presented today by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all and here for good. Well, we'll be ready for our national anthem here in a couple of moments. We'll be ready for our starting lineup coming up in a couple of moments as well. While we have an opportunity, let's take a look at a couple of news and notes that we have out there for Viking athletics today. First and foremost, it's fitting that Landon Peel out of Lemoore is with us today because another Lemoore native is doing some big things for the Vikings. This one in cross country. Carly Just smashed her own record at the Marauder Open in cross country in the 6K. Carly Just, Jasmine Barnes, Emily Hedelwick all competed, and Carly Just finished 7th, beat her own school record with a time of 22:27.8, a minute faster than her previous best this year, and she was the top finisher for the Vikings in that Marauder Open. She's been doing a lot of great work in the cross-country side of things in Lemoore, North Dakota. The NSA Championships are going to be hosted by Valley City State coming up November 8th at the Valley City Town and Country Club, so she won't run again for a while. But tell you what, 7th out of that unit, that's going to be a Division II, Division III NAIA mix. And then to top it off, breaking your own school record. Kind of nice to write the record book and then rewrite it at the same time, Jaden. That'd be nice for an athlete, huh?
Yeah, and skipping a whole minute, rewrite it by another minute. That's an absolutely unbelievable way to not just beat your own record, but to absolutely blow it out of the water.
Blow it out by a minute. That's a heck of a thing to do in a running sport of any kind. And so congratulations going out to Carly Just on that tremendous achievement. And we're going to now have our national anthem. One more achievement for a Viking as well that we'll talk about on the volleyball side in just a couple of moments. But first, we're going to pause for our national anthem. We'll come back, finish up our pregame report with one more news and note, along with our starting lineups in football. National anthem coming up. We'll continue with more in a moment.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News and World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football today here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, along with the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel. And you can see the fleet of Harleys that leads the team out onto the field here today as we get set for the paint bucket game between the Vikings and Jimmy's. Before we go to starting lineups, one more news and note, and I'll tell you what, this young lady, talk about writing the record books. Sadie Hansen out of Oaks, North Dakota, reached 4,000 career assists in Viking volleyball on Friday. She joined Viking Hall of Famer Megan Florkey as the only Viking players to reach that milestone in volleyball history. The Vikings did not get a win out there in the NSAA Frontier crossover after dropping 3 matches, but Sadie Hansen, she's already going to be a Hall of Famer because of what the Vikings pulled off last year. She'll go in individually and as a team, but 4,000 assists for a career, Jaden. I don't know that we've seen a whole lot of people do it better than Sadie Hansen's done for the Viking volleyball team.
Oh, it's going to be impossible not to find her in almost every category in the record book when she's done. She's done phenomenal for that Viking volleyball team.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at our starting lineups for today's matchup between the Vikings and Jimmy's, brought to you today by CHI Mercy Health Valley City. Hello, human kindness. We'll start with the Jamestown, or the University of Jamestown Jimmy's. Apologize. Old habits, they die rather hard at that point. The center is Braden Vildbill today. The guards are Tom Pettinger and Matt Spunkin. And the tackles are Gus Hangslangen and Cole Mack. The tight end today is Lucas Andrews. The wide receivers Dawson Schmidt, Isaiah Roebuck, and Ethan Hoffman. The running back is Carlos Julian, and the quarterback is Nick Martinez. Defensively, they're in a 3-look. The nose is Ty Mansfield. The ends are Dan Erlinson and Tyler Dean. The linebackers are David Diaz, Jed Rance, Mason Parker, and Ezra Bellingeri. The corners are Rashawn Benners and Spencer Russell, and the safeties are Parker Chaffee and Kyle Williams. For the Vikings this afternoon, the center is Bryce Prouty. The guards are Reese Wilfrecht and Tommy Cox, and the tackles are Jonah Larson and Zach Kuznia. The tight end is Trent Finney. The wide receivers are Jake Deutsch, Dom Sotomayor, and Xavier Westbrook. The running back is Legarius Marshall, and Noah Chambers gets the start at quarterback this afternoon. Defensively, the Vikings are in the 4-look. The interior is Tequez Chapman and Georgie Magnejo. The edges are Georgia Magnejo and Mosiah Rogers-Tavau. The linebackers are Loke Yese, Levi Olson, and Malachi Torres. The corners are James Don and Emmanuel Spivey, and the safeties are Micah Olson and Gavin Gerhardt. And it's worth mentioning, we don't want to mention it too much, but the Jimmies have been under some stress in their coaching staff this year. Early in the season, they parted ways with their offensive coordinator. The head coach of the Jimmies is now calling plays, which is a bit unusual in that situation. Brian Mistro is in his 5th season of coaching the University of Jamestown. Dennis McCulloch in his 28th season coaching the Vikings. And the Vikings in their black uniforms today, they're going to have an Oarsman jersey auction. They're going to be able to bid on game-worn alternate uniforms to support that Oarsman's Club. All the proceeds from the auction will go to the VCSU Oarsman's Club, which provides scholarships for the VCSU football program. Now, you can bid by going online. Visit the Oarsman's webpage. There's a QR code that you can find out there on social media as well in order to make your bid. The Jimmies are going to get the football today. They're in white with the orange helmets and the orange trim. And the Vikings will go in those black Oarsman uniform. They say Oarsman across the front with their Cardinal pants and their Cardinal helmets. The Jimmies are moving left to right. They'll go towards the west end zone. The Vikings go towards the east end zone. There is absolutely no wind to speak of today. There's no external factor to play a role in this one. It's just who wants the paint bucket more. Jaden Babiak, who wants it more?
I guess we're going to find out in 4 quarters of football here, Ryan. I'm excited. I am as excited as you are. Can't even speak right now. I'm tripping over my words. Beautiful day, picturesque fall day for some NAIA North Star Athletic Association football.
Evan Lorenzo's going to kick it away. The Jimmies will send 2 men deep to receive back at their own 5-yard line as we get set for this one to get started this afternoon. As the final seconds roll off, one of the kick returners will be Ray Benners, a defensive back, very dangerous athlete that's back there. Another one of the kick returners today is going to be, I believe, one of their wide receivers, Gabe Dadka, who's a sophomore out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Actually, correction, that's Erastus Encino, who's a wide receiver out of St. Cloud, Minnesota, that's back at around the 5 to take this one in. Evan Lorenzo to kick it away, and we're about to get ready with the Paint Bucket football game today from Valley City State University, Lock-In Stadium and Shelley Elling Field. And this one will be taken by Encino at around the 3, who sets up far side return. Got outside the numbers, the 10, the 15, the 20, and got hog-tied up and around the shoulder pad at the 25-yard line is down. It'll be first down and 10. Jimmy's, their own 26 officially to get this one started today, and a beautiful day in the Cheyenne River Valley.
Yeah, and yeah, the returner there looked like he had maybe a little room up there. Good tackle there to limit the yardage on the return. First and 10 Jimmy's here, Ryan.
Pair of receivers will come to the near side of the football field. UJ will send Colton Schumacher into the game despite not being listed as one of the men that would start today. And Nick Martinez will get the start at quarterback today for the University of Jamestown. Again, they have a couple of different quarterbacks they can play. Nick Martinez with lesser numbers this year, but a better touchdown to interception ratio. For the 3 touchdown passes UJ quarterbacks have thrown this season, they've thrown 8 interceptions, which is kind of a painful note for this Jamestown team and the lack of success they've had. Martinez out of the pistol on first down and 10. He'll give off to the backfield, and this is not Julian that gets the start as the running back today. The runner in the matchup will be number 24 for UJ, Zach Hammett, a junior out of Mojave Valley, Arizona, and he'll pick up 7 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 3 for the Jimmies at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, good little pickup there on first down by Hammett. It's going to bring up second and about medium here, Ryan.
So a couple of additional players getting in the game early today for the University of Jamestown. 3 receivers, twins to the right on second down and 3. The Vikings have had their problems stopping the run, and so the Vikings can expect a steady diet of it. This is a jet sweep for Ethan Hoffman, who cuts back over the middle and is down right around the line of scrimmage. Looks like no gain coming up. Vikings chased that one out rather well with good pursuit from Georgia Magnejo off the near side edge. This is a big down early, third down. The Vikings are averaging giving up 237 rushing yards a game. That's why they're going to see a steady diet of the game on the ground today from UJ.
Well, we think the run game's going to be pretty prominent here. Yeah, like you said, Valley City having trouble defending the run. Let's see what Jamestown does here on third down.
Dawson Schmidt is the wide receiver, wide side of the field. Third down and 3 for the University of Jamestown, their own 33-yard line. They'll motion Schumacher to the near side of the field as well. Design quarterback run. Martinez hit first down. He'll cross the yards to gain, gets to the 42-yard line, and that's enough for a Jimmy first down as Martinez will pick up 4. Correction, the 37 is where they end up. 4-yard pickup for Martinez, and the Jimmies move the sticks.
Yeah, another run play there. As like you said, it's going to be a steady diet this afternoon for Valley City State to defend, and Jamestown going to that ground again to pick up that first.
Yeah, this is a game that if the Vikings cannot stop the run, it'll be difficult, and the Vikings haven't had a lot of success stopping it no matter who they played throughout the course of the season. Every team has had some success moving the ball since the start with Minot State. Martinez is under center on first and 10 with twin receivers to his left. He'll give it to Hammett in the backfield, who starts right, tries to cut back left and got stacked up after a 2-yard pickup to the Jimmy 39, and a host of Vikings were there to greet him. He tried to the right side, then had to cut back off of left guard and was met by Georgie Magnejo up on the defensive line. When Georgie Magnejo meets you, you remember the meeting. That's a big pile of beef up there that's agile and came up with the tackle.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's going to be a key factor for Valley City State in stopping that run game there.
Two-yard pickup for the Jimmies, and it's second down and 8 for the University of Jamestown from their own 39 in the opening possession of the football game. 4 receivers with trips scattered to the left side. 2 men start in motion. That should draw a flag. We'll see. There's a shift. The Vikings are wondering why it doesn't elicit a penalty. Martinez ends up fumbling the snap. It goes down back at around the 32. And we got a little extracurriculars coming out on the near side between one of the receivers in motion, Ethan Hoffman, and Gavin Gerhardt, who was there. That'll be a loss of 7 yards on the fumbled snap. So forget the motion penalty. Let's take the 7-yard loss, and it's 3rd and 15 for the Jimmies.
Yeah, absolutely, and actually kind of a miracle he hung onto that ball. He was kind of fumbling with it and just hopped on top before Valley City State Viking uniform could come grab it.
3rd down and 15 for UJ at their own 32 on the opening possession of the game. Martinez looking to the sideline. They'll bring Carlos Julian into the game as the running back. Pair of receivers, one each way. Martinez to throw, dropping back, steps up in the pocket. Flushed, throwing near side, incomplete. And the Viking defense looks to have held on the opening possession of the game. Martinez getting some pressure, didn't know where to go with the football, dumps it out of bounds. And the Vikings should get the football for their first touch coming up in a moment.
Good looks early for the first Viking defensive possession there. Well, rather, UJ's first offensive possession. Valley City State really defended the run game well. Obviously, it doesn't help UJ when the fumble for loss of 7, but good looks early for Valley City State.
Brooks Butt out of Crookston, Minnesota is a 285-pound punter. He gets rid of the football in the air, angled near side of the field. Micah Olson will fair catch it at the Viking 36. Brooks Butt is a story. His dad, Scott Butt, was the head coach for the Crookston Pirates for many years and had a start with the University of Jamestown as a younger guy. As a matter of fact, I officiated some softball with Scott over in Jamestown, and not surprising that one of his children would make their way to the University of Jamestown, bypassing Valley City State on the way.
That's right. Like a lot of connections here, Ryan. You know what? If there's a connection, you probably know about it. That's for sure.
Thank you for that. 4 receivers. That just means I'm old. 4 receivers for the Vikings on first down. Avery Thorsgaard gets the start, throws. Jake Deutsch coming back to the football, trying to shake a tackle, and did. Fights his way outside the numbers of the Viking 40 and is out to the 41-yard line. Able to break a tackle initially on the far side from Parker Chaffee, who was the man covering on the far edge. David Diaz was on the edge as well. Deutscher will pick up 5, and the Vikings have a 2nd and 5 at their own 41.
Good job by Deutscher to fight for a few extra yards. If he was tackled on his first touch there, he'd probably been 1 or 2, but he gets a couple extra and makes it a bit more manageable on 2nd down for Valley City.
So Avery Thorsgaard throwing the football on the first play today for the Vikings. And again, Noah Chambers, Avery Thorsgaard, it's kind of a crapshoot at times as to who is going to start the game for the Vikings. Here they'll go empty backfield with 2 tight ends balanced and 3 receivers. Thorsgaard takes the snap, wants to call his own number. It's a counter play. He looks near side, just trying to find a crease. It got stacked up and the ball came out, and the University of Jamestown has it. Strip drill is on as Thorsgaard got stacked up, and it looks as though the Vikings will be down by contact before the ball came out. It was recovered by Kyle Williams. The Jimmies are incredulous as the Vikings will not turn it over. It'll be a 3-yard pickup for Thorsgaard, and it's 3rd and 2.
Wow, Ryan, that might have been a friendly call the Vikings' way. I didn't see a whole lot, but it definitely did look like that ball came out before he was down, but there's nevertheless 3rd and 3 here for the Vikings.
The ball just inside the Viking 45. They need to get just beyond the 46. Thorsgaard bluffs the throw, cuts back, 1st down yardage across the middle. He's out to the 47. Looks like the spot will be just enough, and it will be a 1st down or not. Are they saying 4th down now for the Vikings? They're going to put it at the 47-yard line. It'll be just enough, and we've had a couple of moments of indecision so far here today on both ends. Looks like the Vikings will get the 1st down that they were looking for, though, nonetheless. So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Valley City State. 3 receivers, trips to the right. Thorsgaard waiting for a shotgun snap. I believe Legarius Marshall has stepped in as the running back in the backfield with him now. Legarius Marshall gets the football, looks up the middle, drives right side, took a big pop as he got to midfield and is down. That's Parker Chaffee coming in from a safety's position and lighting up Legarius Marshall, who picks up 3 the hard way. 8:45 to play opening quarter, and we're scoreless on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard.
Both teams trying to get their ground game going here early. Like we said, this is going to be a very important part of the keys to success here for both teams, and Valley City State picking up modest yardage on all their runs here so far.
Legarius Marshall getting an early opportunity to carry the football, though, which is a good sign. He's the leading rusher for the Vikings at 182 yards for the season. Twin receivers to the left. Marshall up the middle, has a hole right side, juts his way back towards the left, and is able to cross the 45 of the Jimmies and down to the 44. Solid gain. He'll be a yard shy of 1st down yardage. Picks up 6. 3rd down and 1, and you can just see things happen quickly when Legarius Marshall gets his hands on the football.
Yeah, good run there by Marshall, and quick play, quick
the
snap
Vikings
here.
Try to speed things up, go for the tush push to move the chains. They will pick up a yard. The spot will have them just shy of the 42, maybe a little bit more than a yard. And the Vikings have another first down as they'll move the ball to the 42-yard line on a quick snap.
Yeah, quick snap. I think that caught us both off guard, but good play there by Valley City. Still keeping that ball on the ground. Legarius Marshall looking good early here for the Vikings.
Opening drive of the game for Valley City State. And it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 42 of the University of Jamestown. Vikings got a stop after one Jimmy first down on the opening hold of the day. Marshall looking near side stretch play. Cuts back over the middle, actually pulling the jersey of one of his offensive linemen. Gets ahead of the 40 to the 38. He had a hold of Bryce Prouty's jersey, just looking for a hole. That's the center coming out to the near edge. And we've seen Prouty pull a couple of times and come to the left side of the field. That's a big body running the counter off that center's position.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, that line is going to need to help that run game, create those openings. And so far, they've done a really good job. And another good run there by Marshall.
2nd down and 6 with 3 receivers, twins to the right. Again, Thorsgaard has quarterbacked this entire drive thus far. Marshall up the middle, shaking away from tacklers, driving his way ahead. Met just shy of the yards to gain at the Jimmy 33 before he's driven backward. Ezra Bellinghari will come up with a tackle with some help from David Diaz. Those linebackers we mentioned in the pregame report for UJ are very good. It's maybe the best level of their team on all 6 levels that you have to work with, and they're a very, very good unit.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been meeting the running back here so far. Marshall keeping him away from those explosive runs, but Marshall has picked up modest yardage so far on all of his runs.
3rd down and 1 for the Vikings at the Jimmy 33. Clock already down to 6 minutes and change in the opening quarter. Thorsgaard audibling a play with twin receivers to his right. They're going to hide a tight end off the left tackle. Legarius Marshall with him out of the pistol. Play clock running down. Marshall bounces outside. He's got a hole. He's down the sideline to the 10 to the 5. It's a Viking touchdown. And the Vikings will take a 6-0 lead as Legarius Marshall gets into the end zone from 33 yards.
Great run there from the Vikings. Great play design. Found the hole on the outside after a few inside runs and explodes for about a 35-yard touchdown, Ryan.
Evan Lorenzo on for the extra point opportunity as the Vikings have the first points in this year's paint bucket game out of the hold of Avery Thorsgaard. Lorenzo trying to put one through for Valley City State to dot the I. Good snap. Hold is down. Kick is short, but it is good. And the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. As we take a look at it again on our NewsDakota.com replay, you see Avery Thorsgaard directing traffic on this play, and there was no one on outside contain for Legarius Marshall. Outside the numbers, finds his way to the end zone for the touchdown. The Vikings lead 7-0. We have a timeout on the field. This is Viking football on KOBC, the voice of the Valley, along with the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel and online at NewsDakota.com.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football on the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOBC, along with NewsDakota.com and the VCSU Viking Athletics YouTube channel. Evan Lorenzo to kick the ball away for the Vikings, who lead by a score of 7-0. Angled end-over-end kick to the near side, and Ancino with a return from the 2 for the Jimmy. Starts middle, tripped up at the 15, stayed on his feet, driven down to the 18-yard line. Good coverage downfield for Valley City State on special teams, and the Jimmies will have the ball at their own 18-yard line. Looking first down and 10. Officially the 19 apparently is where they'll set up shop. The Vikings leading 7-0 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard.
Yeah, great opening drive by the Vikings.
Sorry about that. Jaden, go ahead.
There we go. I'm on now. Great opening drive there by the Vikings, battering it on the ground, and that was an absolute masterclass there by Legarius Marshall.
33-yard touchdown run for Ligarius Marshall, and the Vikings lead the Jimmies by a score of 7-0. Another snap to Martinez on first down. Straight give this time up the middle for Zach Hammett. Hammett drives with a pile across the Jimmy 25 out to the 26-yard line. Just smash mouth football from UJ before Georgia Magnejo brings him down after a gain of 7+ for Zach Hammett. And it will be a 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, good pickup there by Hammett. Obviously, a few yards after contact, that's going to be really big here. And again, Magnejo going to be huge in stopping that run game for Valley City.
Had a great season, 12 tackles, been a big part of the Viking edge pass rush as well. 2nd down and 3 for the Jimmies with a pair of receivers to the left. Martinez waiting out of the pistol will give to Hammett up the splitting left side. And Hammett gets low, drives his way across the 30 out to the 32, gain of 5. And it will be 1st down again coming up for Hammett. Worth mentioning that drive continued after an iffy fumble call that didn't go as a fumble for Viking quarterback Avery Thorsgaard. Vikings had a bit of a break. Good to take advantage of it if you're going to get one of those.
Yeah, like we said at the time, I thought it was a friendly call Valley City State's way, but you got to take advantage of those opportunities, and they sure did there with that 33-yard touchdown.
1st down and 10, Jimmies. They have the ball at their own 31. Pair of receivers to the right, 1 left, and now 2 backs in the backfield, a fullback back there, along with Martinez, who's going to take the snap. He's going to motion. It's a tight end that he'll motion back to the near side of the field. They'll give to Hammett running behind that tight end. Short gain out to around the 34. UJ brings in Austin Stalin, a tight end out of Denver, Colorado, to play kind of a fullback role and do the lead blocking. Works out for a minimal gain, and we've got an injured Viking. Tough to see which Viking is down, but I believe it's Micah Olson that's down on a knee. The safety for the Vikings that came up. Nope, Micah Olson's out there. Never mind, we see him on the field. Gavin Gerhardt back there as a safety as well that's still in the game. So tough to tell. Could be a linebacker. Levi Olson perhaps. Right now, no, Levi's out there as well. It's just kind of process of elimination to see who's down for the Vikings. It's Loki Yessi. Loki Yessi is going to come off the field, and he's holding his left arm rather limp. So either stinger or something worse. He'll come off the field, and the Vikings left to go to their depth chart to find a linebacker. So the Vikings will make a replacement in the linebacker's position. And this is where we've talked about guys like Armani Smith and Aiden Russell that have been so good off the bench this year for the Vikings that will come in handy, while Loki Yessi, with a great year, 66 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, going to be 10-2 and get some repair done on the Vikings sideline. After a 3-yard pickup, it's 2nd and 7. Another high snap to Martinez, who's in all kinds of trouble in the backfield, and down for a 2-yard loss. He's brought down after another high snap, evades his grasp, and he goes up to try to get it. Looks like that time that might have been Magnejo that got to him. Georgia Magnejo comes up with a stop, and it's 3rd and 9 after a loss of 2.
Yeah, 2nd time already. The snap's been bobbled there by Martinez, and maybe some troubles there with the center getting the snap off, but it's been that same one. It's kind of high and left. We've seen him bobble it with that left finger, those left fingertips, and see if they can correct that there. 3rd and long here for Jamestown. They haven't thrown the ball yet, Ryan.
Their center, Braden Vildbill, a sophomore out of Castle Rock, Colorado. 3rd down and 9, 3 receivers, Twins left, Martinez again out of the gun. He'll motion a receiver behind the line of scrimmage, jet sweep, looking near side, Ethan Hoffman. No, this comes back as a counter. Martinez took it back on the zone read, and Martinez picks up 14 yards to the 45, and it's a 1st down for the University of Jamestown, and now Martinez is slow to get up. Another Jimmy down, and it's the quarterback, Nick Martinez, who just picked up 14 yards, took a pop on the end of the play, and is down on the field. And we're going to have a timeout for an injured player. That'll be a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. We'll take it and come back with more in a couple of moments. Stay with us. The Vikings lead 7-0 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. This is Viking football on KOVC, NewsDakota.com, and VCSU Athletics on YouTube.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
Injury timeout taken care of. Vikings, or actually the Jimmies, go to their next quarterback, Johnny Gran, after Nick Martinez takes an injury on a run play on first down. Johnny Gran will hand off at a short gain for Zach Hammett as he dives ahead of the Jimmy 45 to the 46. The Vikings lead on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard 7-0 on a touchdown run of 33 yards by Legarius Marshall. And the Jimmies, at least for now, to another quarterback who's very capable. 563 yards on the year for Johnny Gran, so it's not like the cupboard's bare for the Jimmies.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we were talking about it for Valley City. Same applies for Jamestown. You like to have that help off the bench for sure.
Clock moving with 2:15 to go here in the opening quarter. It's been a rapidly expiring first. Johnny Gran out of the shotgun starts another jet sweep motion, then pulls the ball back and throws far side of the field. Able to find Colton Schumacher, who breaks the tackle. He's on the boundary, first down ahead of the Viking 45, and he's made his way to the 41-yard line for a 14-yard pickup. For Colton Schumacher, their leading receiver, who we talked about on our pregame report as one of the Jimmies to watch, and it's a first down for UJ in Viking territory at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Schumacher, the leading receiver for the Jamestown Jimmies. We also talked about the ability to have 4 or 5 weapons on the wideouts, but obviously you're going to go to your guy there. And first time the Jimmies have picked up yardage throwing the ball here, and it's been a ground game for sure, Ryan.
Johnny Gran, 55 of 113 this season, so completion percentage just sub 50, 563 yards, a touchdown and 5 picks this year. He'll give to Zach Hammett. Big hole on first down for Hammett. Smashes ahead of the Viking 35, down to the 34 for a gain of perhaps 7, maybe more, before the Vikings can get to him with a stop from Levi Olson. And a second down along 2 coming up for UJ. That run game continues to be productive for the Jimmies.
Yeah, this run game for the Jimmies is going to have to keep working, keep going here. And same with Valley City. We're going to see which run game has the most yards at the end of this. And I think this is going to be a heavily dominated run game for sure.
Clock is into the final minute of the opening quarter. The Vikings leading 7-0, but the Jimmies are the team on the move. 3 receivers. Lone man to the right is Dawson Schmitz. They'll motion a tight end and a new one, Caleb Powell, that comes into play. And now we've got motion up front, flags. And we'll see where this one goes. The Vikings felt the Jimmies moved. One of the Jimmy offensive linemen tumbled. There's some jaw-jacking going on across the line. And we'll wait for the officials to sort out the infraction. Well, they're going to talk about it. The meeting of the minds to determine who did what first.
Yeah, I think both teams kind of pleading their case here. Let's see what the call is.
It's going to be encroachment against the Vikings. It'll be a 5-yard penalty against Valley City State. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's one thing when you see a penalty marker come out, but when you see one of the offensive linemen tumble backward and you see like 4 penalty markers come out, that's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Landon, if you would, get a shot of the crowd back behind the end zone here today. Look at what we've got. We've got standing room only behind the end zone that the Jimmies are moving toward right now. 2 and 3 deep back there. Huge crowd today at Shelley Ellig Field. Hammett on first down, trying to bust outside. He gets clipped down right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Good coverage, James Don beating a block on the far side of the field, getting away from a man and coming up to bring down Hammett on the edge. It'll be second down and 10 for the Jimmies with the clock inside of 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, good stop there by the Vikings. First time Hammett really hasn't got that many yards on a run. And to your point about that student section, it's almost like there's something important here today.
Yeah, there's a little paint bucket running around out there someplace, and the Vikings are trying to retain possession. Second down and 10 for the Jimmies at the Viking 29. Motion again behind the line of scrimmage. Grand will take the snap, play action, wants to throw, rolling, flushed, throws, and it's incomplete. He had a man bearing down on him on the near edge as he took a look out towards the side and just had to rush his throw to tight end Caleb Powell, who was in the matchup. That was Georgia Magneo causing the problem again. And here's third down, and that's going to be the end of the opening quarter, and I'm going to guess the Jimmies are in 4-down territory when they come back after the end of the first. But we have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. After a quarter of football on your LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, it's the Vikings 7 and the Jimmies nothing. This is our coverage of Viking football on the Voice of the Valley and the Voice of the Vikings, KOVC, with video coverage at newsdakota.com and online on the VCSU Viking Athletics YouTube channel.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering, we have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
Welcome back to Viking football. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Landon Peel with our video work today. The Vikings leading by a score of 7-0 on a 27-yard touchdown run by Legarius Marshall. Big play of the opening quarter. It was Legarius Marshall getting the scoring started for the Vikings after a lengthy audible from quarterback Avery Thorsgaard. Legarius Marshall busting outside the numbers and finding his way to the end zone for the lone score, but the Jimmies are on the move. It's 3rd down and 10 for the University of Jamestown at the Viking 29. Johnny Grant takes the snap, gives it away in the backfield to Carlos Julian, and Julian stacked up and thrown back. And it's big Georgie McNaho that comes up with the stop. Vikings get a big play, and it's 4th down and 11 from the Viking 30.
Yeah, and I think Julian didn't like some of the contact there. He was right to the ref after, asking if there might be a flag thrown, but looked clean, met in the backfield there, and it's 4th down Jamestown.
Big play coming up. The Jimmies have not subbed out any personnel. It would appear that UJ is going to keep the offense on the field on 4th down 11. Field goal from here, about 48 yards, and so they'll go for it on 4th down. 3 receivers, Twins left. Johnny Grand stepping in, a little bluff, now flushed. There should be a hold on this. Flags coming out. Grand rolling, throwing over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. And now we could see another flag come out, and we will. That'll be a dead ball foul that's coming up against Valley City State. The first flag is going to be holding against UJ. The second flag is going to be a personal foul penalty, I believe, against Georgia McNaho, lobbying his case for not getting the flag out. There's a third piece of laundry on the field as well, but since that flag came out after the play was dead, I believe the Vikings are going to stop the Jimmies on downs, but be backed up in where they start in field position for their next possession, if it goes the way we think it will.
Yeah, and McNaho was hot there. He was hot, and
just got turned around. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a clear clench of his jersey.
Absolutely.
We'll see if there's a penalty against UJ. There was a holding penalty that was out there. The holding penalty is going to be declined. There will be a dead ball personal foul, or rather personal foul against the Vikings. But I believe this is going to be 1st down for the Valley City State University Vikings. It will be. The Vikings will retain possession. Moment ago, as we take a look at our NewsDakota.com replay, look at the play that set it up. It was Georgie McNaho just filling the gap and getting a hold of Carlos Julian and throwing him backward. And that was the play that really set it up for the Vikings to get the football back. But the ball will go back to the 15 after Georgia McNaho made his case known that he may have been held a bit. And he was held more than a bit.
Yeah, it was pretty evident, and I don't blame him for getting hot there, but definitely would have helped if he would have just let the laundry be thrown, as you said, Ryan, and a bit better field position for the Vikings. But they'll probably stay on the ground here, you'd think, with the success they had in that first drive.
Yeah, Legarius Marshall in the game as the running back, and Avery Thorsgaard comes out for the first possession for the Vikings of the second quarter. 1st and 10, Vikings, their own 15. Thorsgaard looking for a hole, got tripped up as he got just a couple of yards. He was hit in the backfield and brought down. Stop coming from the University of Jamestown's Ezra Bellingheri. A little bit more back and forth going on after the play. This one getting a bit chippy, as some Viking and Jimmy games do. 2-yard pickup for Thorsgaard, and it's 2nd and 8 for the Vikings.
Yeah, you'd expect nothing less from a rivalry like this, and it's going to get chippy not only on the field, but there's something going on in the stands for sure. Little intermingling of some fans.
2nd down and 8. Back to the pistol for Thorsgaard with Legarius Marshall filling out the backfield with him. Vikings are heavy right side, actually left side rather, of their offensive line. Low snap to Thorsgaard. He wants to throw, pocket collapsing. He throws to the flat. Has a man, believe it's Deutsch, and knocked down on the far sideline up at around the 24. Decent gain out there for the Vikings, and it will bring up 3rd down. That may not have been Deutsch. That may have been Trent Finney or Austin Richter that caught the football. It's tough to see the red on the uniforms, but I believe it was Austin Richter that caught the football. And it's 3rd down and 1 for the Vikings at their own 34-yard line.
And last time they were in this situation, they went quick snap there, but let's see what they do here. Probably going to keep it on the ground, Ryan, 3rd and short, but we'll see.
Backfield's empty. Avery Thorsgaard will take one out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 1 for the Vikings at their own 24-yard line, looking to move the chains and keep the football. They fake the jet sweep, and Thorsgaard just plunging ahead. Should have enough. 2 yards and a 1st down coming up for Valley City State.
Yeah, well designed there. Again, only needing 1 yard. Valley City having success on the ground. Probably going to go after it until it doesn't work, and so far If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Legarius Marshall, the leader for the Vikings, 5 carries, 51 yards. Avery Thorsgaard, 4 carries, 10 yards. He's 1 of 1 for 5 throwing the football. Johnny Grant, a catch out of 3 for 13. Zach Hammett leads the Jimmies in rushing with 31 yards as we make the turn into the second quarter. 1st and 10 Vikings, their own 26. The Vikings lead it on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard 7-0. Thorsgaard, shotgun snap, faces a rush, throws middle, pass caught at the 30 and immediately dropped. And then some more pushing and shoving that leads to a couple of Jimmies running into each other. Xavier Westbrook will make the catch. Forward progress will have him at the Viking 31. Be a gain of 5 for Xavier Westbrook, and it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Vikings.
And not who we expected to start behind center today for the Vikings, Ryan. And he's spread it out well and kept it on the ground well. I think Thorsgaard's had a really good opening to this game, and let's see if he can keep building off that rhythm.
2nd down and 5. 3 receivers with twins to the right of Avery Thorsgaard. Snap taken, play action, going to throw. Left side, pass caught. Looking to break a tackle, I believe, is Jake Deutsch. No correction, not Deutsch. It'll be a 1st down for the Vikings as they'll pick up 7 yards on the catch for Dom Sotomayor. That comes up with it at the 38. And again, for those of you that are tuning in, the Vikings in their black uniforms didn't do us a ton of favors because with the sun right in our face as we look south out of the press box, it's hard to see those red numbers out there. But Dom Sotomayor makes the catch for a gain of 7. 1st and 10 Vikings at their own 38. Again, 3 receivers in the formation. Legarius Marshall's back in as the running back for the Vikings. He's going to move from Avery Thorsgaard's left to right as Thorsgaard waits for a shotgun snap in the backfield. Has it, play action to throw again, troubled, tries to get away, does break a tackle, rolls right side, now looking to turn it up outside the numbers, scampers and steps out of bounds at the Viking 43, turns a very negative play into a 5-yard pickup with his feet before he's hampered out of bounds by Kyle Williams. That could have been a disaster. Instead, Avery picks up 5.
Yeah, really good play. Really cerebral play there. Good escape by Thorsgaard. And then to have the presence of mind to get around the defender and then out of bounds for a pickup of 5. I don't think the Vikings will have any problem with that one.
2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. Their first drive was long and laborious until Legarius Marshall broke a 33-yarder. Now the Vikings will put 2 men in the backfield, as we've seen Legarius Marshall and Kayua Nishigaya coming into the game for the Vikings. And Thorsgaard waiting for a snap. He's going to motion Nishigaya out of the backfield and throw him a screen pass. Nishigaya looking for a block, tried to stumble through a tackle, then broke a tackle, drives his way out to midfield. And Nishigaya looks to have a 1st down and a gain of 7 yards for Valley City State. Boy, you could see what was coming. It's going to be a screen pass all day long, and a block was missed, but Nishigaya just picking up some yards after catch.
Yeah, Nishigaya absolutely powered through the Jamestown defense there and willed his way to a 1st down. And Valley City firing on all cylinders on offense right now, in the air, on the ground.
Slow and methodical and using up time. Already down to 9.5 to play until the break. The Vikings leading 7-0. I believe this is just their 2nd possession of the football game today. They scored on their opener, and this is the 2nd time they've had the ball here in the 2nd quarter. I should say 2nd time of the game here in the 2nd quarter. Thorsgaard taking the snap, drops back, wants to throw left side through the hands of Westbrook and incomplete. Westbrook was picked up by Spencer Russell, who was out as the corner on that far side in coverage. Was open, ball got him on the hands, just couldn't reel it in. It will be 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Vikings. That'll stop the clock with 9:15 to go. The Vikings go to a bye week next week. So no Viking football coming up next week. That means this game for the Paint Bucket takes them into a week off. It'll be their 2nd bye week of the season. And this is not one you want to drop when you've got to sit around and think about it for a couple of weeks afterwards. You want to be thinking about a dub, not a loss. Shotgun snap coming up again for Thorsgaard. Marshall to his right in the backfield. Legarius gets it, drives left side, trying to stretch, taken down. As he got to midfield, there'll be no gain on the play. Great open field tackle for University of Jamestown, Daniel Erlinson, defensive end out of Breckenridge, Minnesota. And here's 3rd down and 10, and we'll see the first real duress play for the Vikings here today.
Yeah, first time Jamestown's really got to Legarius Marshall here, as he's been able to step on their defense pretty easily. And yeah, like you said, first kind of play here for Valley where there's some pressure on.
Yep, 3rd and long for the Vikings trying to convert. 4 receivers in the game, split even. Shotgun snap taken by Thorsgaard, head high, stepping up pocket, flush, gonna run. Has a bit of an alley, flag is down, and Thorsgaard's down at the 42. The flag likely for holding, and we'll see what UJ decides to do. This is pretty good field position at the 42-yard line. I would decline it, but you could take the yardage and see if the Vikings can pick up about a 3rd and 26 by the time you'd mark that off if it is a holding penalty against the Vikings. I would think the Jimmies want the football. It doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like they're going to get set to mark this off. They're going to mark this off. Well, perhaps it was not known for sure if the Vikings would go for it on 4th down, so take the penalty, I guess. 3rd down and 20. 50-50 maybe on that situation, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know if there's necessarily. It's kind of how they want to manage the game there. And
yep. No man's land penalty in that type of situation.
Exactly.
So.
And the Jimmies have only had the football once this game. 1 possession.
Well, 2.
Or twice.
Yep.
Excuse me.
3rd down and 20 from the 40-yard line of the Vikings for Valley City State. Thorsgaard waiting with 3 receivers to his right. He'll take the snap, pressured again off the edge, throwing near side of the field. The pass is caught at around the 48 by Xavier Westbrook. So they'll get it back to perhaps about where the line of scrimmage was. They'll pick up most of the penalty. 9-yard pickup for Xavier Westbrook. It'll be 4th down. The Vikings are going to send out the punt unit with a clock at 8 minutes and running here in the first half. The Vikings leading 7-0.
Yeah, good drive there by the Vikings. That penalty definitely hurt them, and let's see how this defense comes out. Obviously, 2 short possessions that I thought was run, Ryan. That might be how short they were, but 2 short possessions for Jamestown. Let's see if Valley City's defense can kind of continue with what they've been doing.
Benners will go back to receive the punt. Jim Miller will put a leg into it. He's been good this year. Keeps it low, looking for a hop. Got one at about the 15 inside the 10. Rolling down to the 5, rolling down to the 4, and will be touched up at around the 3. And so the Vikings do a nice job of pinning the Jimmies deep in their own territory at the halfway point of the second quarter to try to make them go the field. First of all, it'll be at the 4, not the 3. It will officially be at the 4-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Jimmies 96 yards away from the end zone.
Yeah, it feels like 96 yards away from us, Ryan, the way we're going to have to crane our necks for the first bit of this drive. But great punt there by Jim Miller, obviously. Good, the smart play, let it roll, see how it goes. And, yeah, great execution all around by the punt team.
Jim's been very good this year kicking the football. That roll probably doesn't get the attention that it should, the way he's played it this year. Johnny Grant in for another series for the Jimmies after injury to Nick Martinez on the previous possession. Grant going to throw a screen pass, and it's caught right side by Zach Hammett, who drives his way out to the 10 for a gain of about 6. Hammett picking up the screen pass and getting ahead of steam before he's popped on the far side by Emmanuel Spivey. And 2nd down and 3 coming up for UJ at their own 10-yard line. Maybe the 11.
Hammett's had his fingerprints all over this UJ offense, and he's probably been their best performer on the offensive side of the ball. And good another pickup there on the screen pass there. And yeah, UJ's going to need him to make some big plays to get down the field quick here.
Yeah, the one catch for Colton Schumacher. Zach Hammett getting the start today as the running back. 2nd down and call it a short 4. They'll give to Hammett trying to stretch. Curled in the backfield. Brought down as he got to the 12. The Vikings had him hunted down in the backfield. They forced him back up the middle of the football field. Levi Olson comes up with a stop. They're going to spot the ball, I believe, at the 12 for a gain of 1. This is a big 3rd down. 3rd down and 2. UJ at their 12-yard line. If the Vikings can get a stop, they've got a chance to flip some field position for the end of the first half. Clock to 6:20 to play first half. Paint bucket on the line. Vikings leading 7-0. Jimmy's 3rd down and 2 from their own 12. They'll put Johnny Grant under center. Start a man in motion. Turn, Hammett, right side, 1st down. Pummels across the 15, stacked up as he got to the 17, and driven back, but it's enough to move the sticks for the University of Jamestown before Armani Smith teams up with Aiden Russell to bring him down. Little Malachi Torres in that mix as well. And it's 1st and 10, Jimmy's at their own 17-yard line.
Yeah, big pressure play there for Jamestown. Of course, you're going to go to the guy who's been delivering it on the ground, Zach Hammett. And 1st down, Jimmy's here. They're going to be very thankful they picked up that 1st down. Otherwise, Valley City in great field position.
But they got it. And now 4 receivers with twins each way. On 1st down and 10 for the Jimmies. Grand back out of the pistol. Carlos Julian back in as the running back. They'll throw to the near side of the field and immediately brought down to the catches. Colton Schumacher, the sophomore out of Fargo. Emmanuel Spivey comes up with a stop. He was spying on Schumacher, their best receiver, and brings him down for no gain.
Well said. Yeah, Spivey swallowed up that play before it even started. Schumacher didn't even turn around, and he was already on the ground. And Great play there.
Loss of a yard on that play officially for the University of Jamestown back to their 16, and it will be a 2nd down and 11 for the Jimmies. 4 receivers, they'll stack vertical, twins each side. Shotgun snap to Grant, looking to give it away. Julian then takes it back himself on the zone read, pummels his way forward ahead of the 20, out to the 24. A gain of perhaps 8 and a 3rd down and 3 coming up for the University of Jamestown. Another big pressure 3rd down. They're going to spot the ball, back it around the 23-yard line, so it'll be a gain of perhaps 7, and here comes 3rd down and 4 for the University of Jamestown.
And Ryan, I can't help but notice snaps are high and left for Jamestown right now. High and left. Good athletic play there by Grand to pick up the yards, but we'll see if that becomes a factor later. It has already twice almost.
Single receiver goes each way. They'll go 2 tight ends balanced across the offensive line. And a whistle, and we'll see a timeout taken by Valley City State. The Vikings want to talk about this 3rd down play. So the Vikings call for timeout, and we will do the same here at Locken Stadium in Shelley Elling Field. With 4:11 left till the break, it's the Vikings 7, the Jimmies nothing. This is Viking football on KOVC, the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel and NewsDakota.com.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Welcome back to Viking football. Nearing halftime, 4:11 to go of the first half in paint bucket game number 1 this season. We'll do it again over at the University of Jamestown coming up later on in the year. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Landon Peel with our video coverage today. Vikings leading 7-0. A Legarius Marshall 33-yard touchdown run. The Jimmies looking at 3rd down and 4. They had to convert 3rd down a little longer than 2 the last time around, and now it's 3rd down and 4. For the University of Jamestown. From their own 23-yard line, big play near the end of the opening half. Johnny Grand will empty the backfield with motion. Drops back, quick throw, right side, pass incomplete. It was trapped off the ground. Really nice call by the official after Caleb Powell got his hands on it. When he tumbled to the ground, you could see that ball come out and hit the turf. He was able to trap it, but they got a good call on it, and it'll be an incomplete pass that will give the Vikings the football back.
Yeah, and Powell was open for a moment for sure, but credit to that Valley City defense for converging on him quickly and not allowing him to secure the ball. And Jamie's punt here.
Yep, Brooks Butt back on to kick the football. The Vikings' Micah Olson back at his own 40 to return it. Kick is away, and it's an end-over-end driving kick. Going to take a pro Jimmy hop inside the 30 and is out of bounds around the Viking 25. So here comes the Viking offense. You're going to get the ball to start the second half. The Vikings go down, score, take a 2-score lead. You've got an opportunity to really do some damage to start the second half. So this is a big possession coming up for Valley City State.
Very big possession, and you don't need to force the offense here. They'll be more than happy with a field goal. Like you said, 2-score game. They're already up 7. Avery Thorsgaard has played well. He has had rhythm. So let's see if they can, they do have to play a little hurry up, but, you can still have that rhythm, have that momentum you've had since the beginning of the game.
2 timeouts to work with for the Vikings as Avery Thorsgaard comes back out of the pistol, and we'll start Jake Deutsch in motion from right to left. The snap. Marshall, now zone read, and now a throw. Deutsch waiting for it, and he's got a big hole far side. Outside the numbers, got caught from behind. It's a first down as he got to the 38-yard line. Looked like that was going to go for a whole lot more. Ezra Bellingheri, the linebacker on the right side for the Jimmies, got out there to catch him. 13-yard pickup on, I guess you can call it an RRPO. You can run, or pass out of that situation.
Yeah, a lot of reads on that play. Great play design. Deutsch was wide open, and great tackle there by Bellingham. Otherwise, Deutsch, like you said, he had a lot of room downfield.
13-yard pickup for the Vikings, and it's 1st and 10 for Valley City State at their own 38. Clock to 3:20 to play. Remember, the Vikings do get the 2-minute timeout as well if they're holding the football at that point. Legarius Marshall, stretch play right side, looking for a hole. Tried to stretch it further outside, but Bellingheri came over to get him as he makes his way just shy of the 42. Be a gain of 3 and some change. Boy, I'm really impressed with Ezra Bellingheri. 27 tackles on the year. Now, Jed Rance is their lead leader in that linebacker core. But Bellingheri has been all over the field and terrific lateral speed for the Jimmies from Bellingheri today.
Yeah, we've said his name a few times, and he's had the answer for Legarius Marshall a couple times. And on that last play, when I called him Bellingham, I apologize, Bellingheri.
And Jed Rance is not in the football game right now for the Jimmies either in that linebacker spot. Here comes 2nd down and 6 for the Vikings. 2:35 to play now until halftime. Screen pass to Legarius Marshall. Marshall looking for a hole, found one, confronts a tackler, bangs his way out to the 47 for a gain of 5 before he's knocked down hard by Kyle Williams on the far side. If the Vikings want to run another play, they can before the 2-minute timeout, and it looks like they're trying to set up to do that to pick up the first down before the 2-minute stoppage. Thorsgaard under center and got the Jimmies to jump, but they didn't come across. Now with the play clock, or actually game clock, down to 2 minutes, down to 3, down to 2, down to 1. They're just going to let it go to the 2-minute timeout. And they didn't actually call the 2-minute timeout at 2 minutes. They rolled it down to 1:57. So we'll have a 2-minute timeout as well. But that's a curious set of circumstances for the Vikings not running the play. 3rd down and 1. 2-minute timeout has been reached. 7-0 Vikings on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking football on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel, and NewsDakota.com.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
2 minutes to go. We have the 2-minute timeout. They did reset the clock for 2 minutes. That's one of those things where the college officials getting used to a new set of circumstances. So the 2-minute timeout. The Vikings will have 2 timeouts left. It's 3rd down and 1 for Valley City State from their own 47. Vikings leading 7-0. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Landon Peel with you today. And the Vikings line up to go jumbo on the snap as they're looking to try to move the chains. Legarius Marshall stepping up right behind Avery Thorsgaard. If this isn't a tush push, I'll give you $5. And it's a tush push, and it's a first down. The Vikings will move the ball to the Jimmy 40, or rather the Viking 49. That's enough for a first down for Valley City State.
Well, there goes my $5, I guess. Good call there. And they've used that play once before. They went quick snap then the first quarter there. Fresh set of downs for Valley City. Still a bit of time at least to get into field goal range. If not, big play touchdown.
3 receivers to the right side for the Vikings on 1st down and 10 at the 49. The Vikings 49 leading 7-0 with 1:40 to go. Play action, Thorsgaard throwing right side for Dom Sotomayor, who dragged his feet and comes up with a catch at the 42-yard line of the University of Jamestown. What a catch. Let's take a look at it again on the NewsDakota.com replay. You'll see right on the bottom right of your screen, Dom Sotomayor, awareness of the sideline, and he puts it down and just drags those feet in. That's a heck of a play for Dom Sotomayor and the Vikings, and it's 1st and 10 for Valley City State at the Jimmy 41. Clock halts with 1:32 to go here in the opening half. 4 receivers, trips to the left. Thorsgaard the snap, lots of time, looking middle, sails one, incomplete. Xavier Westbrook was the intended target, got hit by Kyle Williams as he got his hands on the football.
Yeah, I think Westbrook wanted a call there. Good play, though, by the Jimmy defense, and Thorsgaard's airing it out really well. That was a great pass. Only his receiver could have got that one. And
attacked the middle of the field as well. There were a lot of Jimmy defensive backs around that football. That was a throw that you might not have seen coming. Second down, rather, they have it 1st and 10. It should be 2nd and 10. Down marker didn't reset. 2nd down and 10 with 1:28 to play in the opening half. Pair of receivers go each way. Legarius Marshall in the backfield. Quick throw, right side. Pass is caught. Jake Deutsch trying to turn upfield, knocked out of bounds as he got to the Jimmy 33. Be a pickup of perhaps 9. 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Vikings. Clock moving. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go. The Vikings trying to set. Still 2 timeouts for the Vikings to work with. Back to the push And Avery Thorsgaard stood up as he nudges the ball towards the 30. But will have enough for a first down, and the Vikings will now use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. So the Vikings will call for a timeout. We'll do the same. Brought to you by Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. With 1:02 left to go, opening half. Vikings driving, leading 7-0 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We're back with more Viking football next.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Band sounded good here today at Locken Stadium, Shelley Ellig Field. Tons of people here. I think everybody in 2 counties is out here today. They don't have counties in Canada, or maybe they do. Jayden, I don't know. You said they have cities and hamlets, right?
Cities, towns, hamlets, all that stuff. I'm going to figure out if we got counties. Come Christmas time, I'll have an answer for you.
Okay, gotcha. It takes you that long to find. It's not even Halloween.
Yeah, well, we're flying at Christmas. That's for sure. And
okay. First and 10, Vikings at the Jimmy 30. 1:02 left to go till halftime. Paint bucket game number 1, and the Vikings lead by a score of 7-0. Valley City State with 4 receivers in the formation. Nick Mears has joined the fray for the Vikings as a receiver. Legarius Marshall motions out of the backfield. And Thorsgaard stepping up, thought about throwing the football, now decides to run with it, broke a tackle, and moves his way inside the 15. Took a little pop at the end of the play. He's out of bounds at around the 13-yard line, and the Vikings have a 1st and 10 down in the Jimmy red zone.
Thorsgaard stumbled there, and I think that stumble helped him pick up a little bit of extra yardage because he was going to go up the middle, stumbles, goes out wide, and gets an extra 5-10 yards there for the Vikings.
1st and 10 for Valley City State from the Jimmy 13. A big possession. The Vikings leading 7-0. They get the football to start the second half of play. If you put one in the house here, you got a chance to grab the ball to start the second half. Could be a big swing if the Vikings can finish this off. 3 receivers, correction 2. Twins to the left, and the Vikings will double shift 2 tight ends. And now we see whistles, and it looks as though the Vikings have taken their final first half timeout. They had 2 tight ends in motion, Austin Richter and Trent Finney, and that might have been the precursor to an error coming up for the Vikings. So Dennis McCulloch and Valley City State elect to take their final timeout. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at some of the highlights from this one, from this opening half. We'll also dive into the numbers. And then for those of you that are with us on the radio side of things today, we'll get you going with an update on news and an update on our weather situation, along with some regional news as well. Those of you on the video side of things, you'll have the still look here at midfield as we wait to come back and join you for the second half. Those of you on the radio side will get caught up with the news picture coming up at halftime. It's our halftime report is presented by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Rambo, proud sponsor of Viking Athletics. Your promotional items, your promotional apparel, they get it done fast, they get it done right. They know what it means to promote a team and a business, and they want to help you do that. At Rambo, we're in the business of making you look good. Timeout over. 53 seconds left for the Vikings at the Jimmy 13, and it's 1st down and 10 for Valley City State. A 7-0 lead for the Vikings, trying to tack on before halftime. 4 receivers, trips left, and they'll motion Finney, the tight end, from right to left. Thorsgaard rolls towards that left side. Looking end zone, throwing towards the far side of it, and it's incomplete. Had Xavier Westbrook in his crosshairs, overshot him a bit deep. Westbrook really didn't have an opening. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Valley City State.
And still lots of time here for Valley City. You're going to get all 4 of your downs here no matter what, unless you're doing something silly with 20 seconds, but no hurting in putting one in the end zone to start. And
Vikings do not have a running back, however, so it's Avery Thorsgaard to run the ball, or no one at this point. 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings from the Jimmy 13. 4 receivers again. Twins to the left side of the formation. Correction, trips. Lone man near side is Jake Deutsch, and they'll give him space on the right side of the football field in coverage. Thorsgaard waiting for the snap. He's got it. He's blitzed. He throws right side, and Finney has one go through his hands. Incomplete up and around the 7. And Thorsgaard took a pop on the end of that play, and guess what? It's Ezra Bellingheri, number 17 for the Jim. He's been all over the field today, and he's been in the backfield a handful of times too. And Bellinghari's becoming a problem for the Viking offense.
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, we've been saying his name more and more here as this game's developed, and he's been making it a bit of a headache for that Valley City State offense. Another good play there. Maybe a little extra shot on Thorsgaard, but third down coming up here for Valley City.
3rd and 10 Vikings. From the Jimmy 13, Legarius Marshall re-enters the game as a running back to the left of Avery Thorsgaard. Wouldn't expect him to run the ball, may go catch one. He's in to protect, and Thorsgaard's in trouble. Got away from someone from behind, making a bad dash towards the end zone. Got to the pylon. He's in. Viking touchdown. Avery Thorsgaard scampering in from 13 yards to put the Vikings on top by 2 scores with 37 seconds left to go until halftime.
Great play manufactured there by Thorsgaard. Pressure was on, and he found a lane, ran it to that corner of the end zone, and 2 scores before halftime. You get the ball back after. It's looking good for the Vikings.
And the Vikings are going to leave their offense on the field for the moment here and start talking about opportunities for the convert. Evan Lorenzo lined up as a wide receiver, and now he's going to come dashing back into the backfield to attempt an extra point for the Vikings. Out of the hold of Thorsgaard. Good snap, hold down, kick on its way, nothing but net. The Vikings lead by a score of 14-0. Here it is again on the NewsDakota.com replay. Thorsgaard just surveying his options, had to get away from pressure in the backfield, outran it in a wide open corner. Second time today that the Jimmies have given up a touchdown because the outside contain breaks down, and the Vikings have a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, Thorsgaard had all the room in the world to score that touchdown there, and a good block in the end zone from the receiver, and 2 scores before halftime here, 14-0 Vikings.
Corey Anderson, the old offensive coordinator, I shouldn't say old, former, but previous. I don't know what word he wants me to use, but offensive coordinator of the past for Valley City State, would always talk about how run plays do not become big run plays without the involvement of the wide receivers blocking. He always expected every one of his wide receivers would be physical enough to hold a block, because that's what turns a run play of 5 or 6 yards into a gouging run play that gets down the field. And it's not a statistic that goes into any sort of category at all, but it's something that you take pride in when you can break a quarterback to the end zone from 13 yards. The receivers had something to do with that.
Absolutely, and it's the little things. If you want to be an elite team, if you want to separate yourself from good to great, you do those little things right, and your receivers blocking are those little things.
Evan Lorenzo to kick it away for Valley City State. And Lorenzo sends one on the ground up the middle of the football field, and the ground ball is picked up by the Jimmies and returned to around the 40 or 41 yard line. It's a little ground ball looked that time, and UJ has a return from number 20, Mason Whitley, a defensive back out of Redfield, South Dakota. And from the 40, 33 seconds, 3 timeouts. The interesting thing about that kickoff is if the Jimmies have a kicking game, what do they have to pick up? About 30 yards to give themselves a chance at a field goal before the end of the opening half. So not out of the question that the Jimmies couldn't turn this into points. Johnny Gran back on the field for the University of Jamestown, ready to take a shotgun snap with a pair of receivers to his left. He'll turn, give it away to the back for Carlos Julian. Julian finding a hole to work with up the middle of the field, scampers his way across the Viking 45 and is down to the 44. That'll be a 16-yard pickup for Carlos Julian. And the Jimmies have called for timeout. So the University of Jamestown will call for timeout as they move the ball to the Viking 43. We'll have a timeout as well here at Locken Stadium and Shelley Ellick Field. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. The Vikings leading the Jimmies 14-0 with 26 seconds left until the break. More Viking football on the way next on KOVC, on NewsDakota.com, and on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
Ryan Cunningham, Jayden Babiak, Landon Peel with you here today at halftime, or nearing halftime. 26 seconds left to go until the break. Jimmy's moving with the football at the Viking 43. after a 17-yard pickup by Carlos Julian a moment ago. The Viking prevent defense in. Johnny Gran waiting out of the shotgun for the University of Jamestown has it. This time it's Hammett off the right side with another gaping hole up the middle. Drives across the 30 and is down to the Viking 27. Be first down, and right now the University of Jamestown not looking to call timeout. They're trying to keep the Vikings from substituting and keep their timeouts. 21 seconds. They haven't started the clock as of yet. They give the ball away to Hammett again, who outruns one tackler in the backfield, drives his way ahead of the 20, inside the 17. Ball came out. The Vikings think they have it. The ball's out at the 14-yard line, waiting for a definitive call. We've got more men falling down on the pile. We've got Vikings trying to get into it after the fact. Ball still on the ground. The initial indication from the Vikings sideline, they felt they had the football. They're unpiling the pile right now, and it's Viking football. The Vikings come out of the pile with it. Michael Olson perhaps stripped it loose. Ball comes loose on the turf. Valley City State forces a turnover and has the football at the 14-yard line.
Just the worst possible sequence of events for Jamestown. You get down to the 10-yard line and the ball comes out. Big play there by the Vikings. That would have resulted in points, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown there by Jamestown.
And they had plenty of momentum going as well, and so that's the part that you're really concerned about in that moment. But instead of all that, the Vikings are going to come out. They're going to go into the victory formation, run out the first half clock, and take a 14-0 lead into the locker room here in the first of two paint bucket games. Well, how about that for an ending to the first half? The Vikings take advantage of a late possession, go down the field and score a touchdown, and then on top of it, force a turnover against a good Jimmy drive. And that will send the Jimmies into a bit of a funk going into halftime. And the Vikings are going to come out in the second half with a football and a 14-0 lead, looking to take some firm control of this football game. And Jaden, they're in good position right now.
They really are. And like you said, the momentum for Jamestown would have definitely been a bit different if that ball didn't come loose. And for Valley City, that's a big play. That's a big play at the end of half. I think that does more for your momentum than that touchdown to make it 14-0.
Probably, yeah. It does stop a little bit of the point structure going down the field for the University of Jamestown. However, that running game for Valley City State, they didn't have to take a lot of chances. They ended up not taking a lot of chances, which, you know, that might be the thing that you're looking for at this point, is just not to have to take a whole lot of chances at this moment. And in the end, for the Vikings, that half couldn't have played out a whole lot better at this point. I really don't think it could have. They don't turn the ball over, they don't lose anybody due to injury, and they use their running game to get ahead by a score of 14-0. That's not bad. That's a good situation.
100% agree with you, Ryan. And I think they looked really comfortable as well in the passing game. I think Thorsgaard did it out really well, had a different spread amongst the weapons, and Jake Deutsch looked good in the first half. Obviously, Marshall. A lot of Vikings played really well in that first half, and that's, again, putting yourself in a position where you don't have to take a lot of risks in that second half.
Absolutely.
You definitely can be more comfortable. You can definitely be okay with chewing clock, and you're up 2 scores here now for Jamestown. Another thing is not hit the panic button. You see how they can move the ball. Hammett had a really good first half, but it's going to come down to execution. You can't have that fumble at the 10-yard line with, you know, a little change left to go in the clock.
Well-timed situation for the Vikings to force that turnover, and that's going to take us to halftime. And our halftime report today is brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Stick with us because we'll come back with some of the highlights from our opening half of football, assuming they didn't get garbled by the technical issues beforehand. Let's all just say a Hail Mary and see if we can make that happen. That when we come back at halftime, brought to you by Rambo. This is Viking football. The Vikings leading by a score of 14-0 at the end of the opening half. Here are the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC, with video coverage on newsdakota.com and also online at the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. To get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Lang hard to the basket with a two-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Olin can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmy.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
This week at Lever's Foods in Valley City, save on boneless beef chuck roast, $5.99 a pound. Jif peanut butter, 2 for $5. Kellogg's cereals, $4.29 each. Campbell's Homestyle soup, 2 for just $2.88. And extra large red seedless grapes, only $1.99 a pound. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Welcome back to halftime. It's our halftime report for Viking football today, and halftime report is brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Rambo knows what it needs, what it means to have to promote your team, have to promote your business, and so you can do that with Rambo. Look them up online. You can find Rambo by a simple search in your search engine, and those folks, Matt Carlgard is part of that group. He's a Valley City State University Viking guy, former assistant basketball coach for the Viking men and women. In fact, Matt Carlgard's a Hall of Famer. He went in with the Viking women this year into the Viking Hall of Fame, and he knows what it's like to promote teams around here. He's originally from the Litchfield area, and they're great to do business with at Rambo. So promotional items, promotional apparel, they've got you covered. Rambo, we're in the business of making you look good. The Vikings lead 2 scores, 14-0, efficient. I think that's probably what we'd say about the Vikings offensively in the opening half. They put 2 touchdowns on the board on some long-range runs. Don't take a ton of risks. Avery Thorsgaard quarterbacks the entire first half, and the Vikings are sitting with a 14-0 lead.
Yes, very efficient, Ryan. They looked really comfortable. That line definitely showed up. They allowed for some big run plays, obviously most notably that 33-yard touchdown run by Legarius Marshall, but efficiency, they were comfortable. They used their weapons. They spread the ball out. Avery Thorsgaard, I thought, looked really good. Obviously threw the ball well and obviously ran that touchdown in. But they just need more of that. They just need to keep being comfortable. They need to keep spreading the ball out. Now, you're up 14. You don't need to take any risks. You have the ball back. Choose some clock. Drive like you have been and keep playing the way you have been, and I see no reason why Valley City can't win this paint bucket.
The Vikings out-yard the Jimmies 183-118 in the opening half. Vikings throw 10 of 14. That's a nice first half for Avery Thorsgaard. The Jimmies only threw the football 7 times in the entire first half. The Vikings outrushed the Jimmies 106-98. 18 attempts and 106 yards for the Vikings. But as far as the passing yardage is concerned, that's where the Vikings kind of separate themselves. As Avery Thorsgaard was 77 yards passing in that opening half, and that perhaps loosened things up just a little bit and allowed some of those runs for the Vikings to get to be a little bit bigger runs for Valley City State in that first half, and that's where some of the yardage issues are. The Jimmies threw for just 20 yards in the opening half of play, and those are some of the issues that will come up for the Jimmies. Let's take a look at some of our replays and some of our highlights that we had from the opening half here today as the Vikings get going first with Legarius Marshall going to the end zone. 33-yard touchdown. This was on the first drive for the Vikings here today. Legarius Marshall running inside a lot, bounced outside, nobody home, outside contained. Legarius Marshall to the end zone for a touchdown. The Vikings led 7-0. Next possession for the Jimmies, Georgie Magnejo. Couple of big stops for Valley City State in that sequence. He comes up with one there, and that led to a turnover on downs for the University of Jamestown. Then the Vikings coming downfield. This is a great catch for Dom Sotomayor. One of the highlights on that Viking scoring drive. Sotomayor dragging his feet inbounds along the near boundary to stay in, and that results in a touchdown run for the quarterback Avery Thorsgaard, who was pressured out of the backfield, took off running for the pylon, and found his way into the end zone for the Vikings, and the Vikings take a lead by a score of 14-0. And those are your halftime highlights brought to you today by Rambo. We're in the business of making making you look good. For those of you on the video side, we'll have our picture on the field for a handful of time here as we get ready for the second half to begin. For those of you on the radio side, we're going to catch you up with the latest that we have in news with a Fox News update and also our regional news headlines just around the corner. And our second half of football is on the way in just a bit with our halftime report brought to you by Rambo. Again, at the end of the opening half, your scores, the Vikings 14 and the Jimmies nothing in the first of two paint bucket games this season. We'll continue with more Viking football in just a couple of moments here on the Valley City State University Athletics YouTube channel, newsdakota.com with video coverage, and the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
District 24 Representatives Nancy Farnham, Shauna Lawson, and Pete Jovic confidently extend their best wishes to Valley City State University for a successful and healthy sports season. May your practice, preparation, and dedication lead to great success. We are confident that you will strive to do your best and exemplify good sportsmanship both on and off the court. Best wishes for an outstanding sports season from District 24 Representatives Nancy Farnham, Shauna Lawson, and Pete Jovic. Go Vikings! Paid for by District 24 Democratic NPL. Brad Eden, Treasurer.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
Fox News, I'm Ann Carrick. The cleanup and recovery continue in Florida.
Once we get the power back up and running, ultimately make sure that they have access to food, access to water, access to any other commodities that we can assist with, whether it's tarps, showering facilities, laundry facilities, so that we could slowly get their lives back into some semblance of normalcy.
Brigadier General Alex Hollermore with the Florida National Guard on Fox. Former President Trump in Deep Blue, California today. In Coachella, Fox's Alexandria Hoff with why.
Part of the answer could be that he wants to build up some enthusiasm for down-ballot races right here in this area. California districts 41, 25, 48.
Vice President Harris expected in North Carolina Sunday. Her physician reporting she's physically and mentally fit to be president. America's listening to Fox News.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever.
even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
With a check of regional news this hour, I'm Ryan Cunningham. North Dakota State Fire Marshal announced the preliminary cause of some of the massive fires burning across western North Dakota, and another blaze just started north of Theodore Roosevelt National Park's North Unit Thursday. The Pasture 10 fire burned roughly 40 acres as of noon Thursday. By 2 p.m., firefighters stopped the forward progression of the fire and were strengthening containment lines. The Pasture 10 fire is the latest in a series of blazes that have blackened the Badlands of western North Dakota over the past week. State Fire Marshal Doug Nelson said there was no evidence of intentionally set fires at the scenes, to which his team responded. That includes Newtown, Dinwiddie, Keene Township, and Williams County. As of late Wednesday, the Elkhorn fire south of Watford City burned over 10,300 acres, 60% contained. The Bear Den fire burned 11,700 acres, 50% contained. Official causes, usually a month or 2 months. A district court judge denied a request by the state to suspend his decision striking down the state's abortion ban while the case goes to the North Dakota Supreme Court for appeal. He said it would be nonsensical for the court to keep a law that it has found to be unconstitutional in effect pending appeal. Bruce Romanick, the South Central judge that was involved in the decision, filed the order within hours of hearing arguments of the state's request. The ban enacted by the legislature in 2003 made abortion illegal in all cases except rape or incest if the mother had been pregnant for less than 6 weeks, or when the pregnancy poses a serious physical health risk. A group of reproductive health care doctors in an abortion clinic last year filed suit to challenge the ban. A West Fargo high school driver's education teacher will not be charged after fatally shooting a man in August outside the church. Don Barron Jr. of Moorhead shot 25-year-old Austin Strom early Saturday, August 17th. Strom, a parishioner, assaulted fellow church members, which led to Barron intervening and ultimately shooting Strom. Prosecutor who reviewed the case said the shooting was self-defense. We'll have more regional news after this.
Farmer's Edge is here to support growers, agronomists, and retailers this harvest season with their solutions. Farm Command and Farm Command Pro delivers zone mapping fields, soil sampling, and receiving customized recommendations all under one platform. If you are interested in learning more about soil testing, zone mapping, variable rate, or virtual soil testing, contact info at farmersedge.ca or call 1-866-858-4651 or visit farmersedge.ca.
What if you could store heat during off-peak hours when electric prices are lowest and use it when you need it? With a heat storage system, you can. Underfloor systems and other options heat your whole home or individual rooms so you can stay comfortable and save. Plus, they're at least 100% efficient, so no energy or dollars are wasted. With Otter Tail Power Company rebates, now's the time to see how you can store, heat, and save. Go to otpco.com/heat storage to get started.
A student in northwestern Minnesota was arrested after another school threat. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says the threat of school violence was made at the Fertile Beltrami School. The Sheriff's Office says there's no immediate threat. The investigation is ongoing. On Monday, West Fargo, North Dakota, police arrested a student at Cheney Middle School for making 2 threats towards the school. And the South Dakota Secretary of State's office is blaming the State Department of Public Safety for errors that allowed 273 non-U.S. citizens to register to vote. They said these non-U.S. citizens marked no on their citizenship question on the driver's license application, but incorrectly processed as U.S. citizens due to human error by the Department of Public Safety. The Department of Public Safety on Thursday didn't immediately respond. The improper registrations are being purged from the voter rolls, according to state officials. That's a check of regional news. With the latest in regional news this hour, I'm Ryan Cunningham.
Here is your Egg Central forecast from meteorologist Mick Kerr. Tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Low temperatures will drop into the upper 30s to around 40. North-northwest winds 10 to 15. Could see some gusts as high as 23. Gusty again tomorrow as well. Sunny, high near 55. North-northwest winds 14 to 16. Gusting as high as 25. Sunday night, widespread frost, maybe after 3. Lows perhaps 30 or lower. And a high on Monday of 52. More weather, log on to newsdakota.com. Our halftime report has been brought to you today by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good at Rambo. Welcome back to Shelley Ellig Field in Locken Stadium. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, and Landon Peel with you here today as the Vikings have put up a 14-0 lead on the University of Jamestown at the end of a half of play today. Getting ready for half number 2. Huge crowd downstairs. Just an unbelievable atmosphere today here at Shelley Ellig Stadium. And boy, when we don't have these games in the future, we're going to miss them because this has always been a whole lot of fun. But University of Jamestown departing for the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference coming up. And this could be the final year of the game. As last report, the schedule had not yet been released from the Northern Sun, so we don't know if there's going to be room for a Viking Jimmy game coming up next year. This year, everybody in the Northern Sun was looking for a game, and that's why the Vikings ended up playing Minot State, and UJ played the University of Mary. But with the extra football team going into the conference, the expectation is that everybody in the conference will play nothing but conference games next year. So it'll be interesting to find out whether or not we have continued Viking Jimmy games coming up. Could be the last year of them this year.
That's right, and let's just be fortunate that we have a picture-perfect day, picture-perfect crowd, and we're able to experience this this great display of football here. And yeah, always fun. Whether you're in the crowd, whether you're up in the broadcast booth, always fun to be a part of a Valley City and Jamestown matchup. Whether it be football, volleyball, baseball, whatever you want. Valley Jamestown, they do it well.
Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work because of the issues that we had earlier, but the upcoming schedule, oh, believe it or not, it's going to work. How about that? This is up next for the Vikings. You take a breath on a day like this one, right? So coming up October 15th, the volleyball team will play at Dakota Wesleyan, and look at there on October 17th. That WBB means women's basketball. Now, that's a scrimmage against Dawson Community College. Conference volleyball at Dickinson State at the University of Jamestown coming up on Friday and Saturday. Women's basketball will start their actual season at Northern State, but that will likely be a scrimmage for the Division II Wolves down in Aberdeen on the 21st. And volleyball at Mayville State coming up on the 24th, and that's likely to be our next game broadcast as the Viking football team has a bye week coming up next week. Jimmy's will kick it away as we get ready for the second half. And the kick is away to the Vikings. Second half possession goes to Valley City State, leading by a score of 14-0. Xavier Westbrook is the kick returner. Looks up the middle, trying to find a crease. Found one at the 20 and works himself out to the 25-yard line. And we've got some more pushing and shoving going on. And here comes a penalty marker. And this thing got heated out there, and the Jimmies lured a Viking into committing a penalty that should not have taken place on the end of a play. Hunter Phelps, defensive back out of Honolulu, Hawaii, ends up throwing a shot at one of the Jimmies, and the Vikings are probably going to be starting at about the 12.5.
Yeah, that just can't happen. You're up 2 scores. The big thing here for Valley City, take care of the ball and don't make mistakes like they just did. And that's not a good start to the half for Valley City. Obviously, they'll still have the ball to start the half, but just can't have that happening right out of half there. Maybe a smart little play there by the Jamestown player who lured him into that, that penalty.
And the thing is, in a game like this now, that's going to happen. You haven't had a lot of offensive success. You're going to try to do some things like this. Now, Avery Thorsgaard will start in the second half. Noah Chambers has not taken a snap today. We don't know if he's injured. He's on the sideline in pads, but Avery Thorsgaard has been the quarterback wire to wire thus far, and the Vikings will have the football at their own 12.5-yard line, leading by a score of 14-0. Thorsgaard out of the shotgun, quick throw. Jake Deutsch gets a block. Outside numbers the 20 up to around the 23. Solid start for the Vikings as Deutsch will pick up 10 on the first play of the second half, and that'll be enough to move the sticks for the Vikings. It's first down.
That's not the first time that Thorsgaard's connected with Deutsch, and a good pickup. He's had a good little game, Jake Deutsch, and good pickup there, kind of to get that penalty back. And Valley City now at the 22, I believe, Ryan.
Terrific story. Jake Deutsch had a complete hip replacement after high school. and didn't know if he would even run again. And he's a Viking wide receiver, had a big game for 100 yards against Augsburg in week number 2 of the season. Play action throw again. Vikings throw to the right side. Another screen pass. Pass caught and out near the 29, 30, down to around the 31 before the play comes to him. Believe it's Xavier Westbrook that caught the football for the Vikings, and it was. And the Vikings will pick up around 7 on the play to Westbrook. Be second down. Call it 8 on the play for Westbrook. It'll be second down and 2, Valley City State.
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think Thorsgaard's looked really good on the passing game today. Really aired it out well, looks really comfortable. Obviously helps when Legarius Marshall is a threat, and they have to respect that run game.
And they've thrown a lot to his strengths today, which is in the flat, short gains, the hooks, that type of thing. Second and 2 for the Vikings. Snap taken. Thorsgaard trying to call his own number. Bounces outside. Got caught at the 31 and knocked down right at the line of scrimmage, or maybe a loss. And guess who? Ezra Bellingheri, the linebacker that's had just a tremendous day for the Jimmies today, comes up with outside contain on that. It'll be a mild loss. And here comes third down, about 2.5, and a crucial down, more so for the Jimmies, but certainly for both teams on this first second half possession. So the Vikings will try to convert a third down and 2 from their own 31. A pair of receivers go to the right of Thorsgaard. Legarius Marshall slicing and dicing towards the line of scrimmage. Works himself out to the 35. That's enough. First down for Legarius Marshall. Just a couple of juke steps right in the middle, but he is so slippery, and you can just tell there's an elevation in the running game for the Vikings when Legarius Marshall has the football.
Yeah, and absolutely. And that line has done a great job of protecting the running back there, finding him holes, and Legarius Marshall, when he's been called on, has been really good. That first drive was all Marshall. Maybe not utilized as much these next few drives, but when he's needed, he's been there for the Vikings.
Pair of receivers right for the Vikings on 1st and 10. Valley City State. They'll give again. Now take it away. Avery Thorsgaard, zone read. Got caught by a spy on the right side, maybe a yard to around the 36. That was Mason Parker, the middle linebacker for UJ, that steps into that play and makes a stop. Dan Erlinson had a hand in it as well. About a 2-yard pickup. One thing the Jimmies haven't done, except for once, is lose outside contain on the quarterback. Now, unfortunately for the Jimmies, it turned into a 13-yard touchdown waltz for Avery Thorsgaard, but they've done a pretty good job of accounting for the running quarterback today. Second down and 8. Second running back joins the formation. Kaiua Nishigaya is to the right of Thorsgaard with Legarius Marshall to his left, and Thorsgaard will send Marshall in motion out to the far side flat. Little pass to the far side, too high for Jake Deutsch, and it'll bring up a third down and 8. Now the Vikings in a third and long situation at their own 38-yard line.
Now this is a huge stop for Jamestown. You got Valley City under a bit of duress here. Third and long. It's a big stop for Jamestown. Look for Ezra Bellingheri to make a big play here.
Well, and they'll bring him. You would think if he's in the game, he's been doing a lot of blitzing right now. Ezra Bellingheri is the right side linebacker for UJ. He's going to be lined up in coverage. The Vikings will spread 3 to his side of the formation and trips. And here's third down and 8 for Valley City State. Shotgun snap coming up for Avery Thorsgaard. Bellingheri is spying the quarterback, but he won't come. Decent time for Thorsgaard, who rolls away from some pressure, looks downfield, going to turn and run, found the line to gain, first down. Valley City State, a first down, as we'll see Thorsgaard step out of bounds at the 49 on the Jimmy sideline. Avery keeps it going with his feet, and the Vikings convert a third down and long.
He's manufactured a few plays on his feet, Avery Thorsgaard has, and when he's been throwing it well short like he has been, you got to respect that, and he had a hole there, gets the first down. Jamestown really needed to stop there, Ryan. That's a big first down pickup for the Vikings.
Clock moving, 11 minutes to go, third quarter. Vikings leading 14-0, opening possession of the second half. 3 receivers, twins left. Thorsgaard giving to Marshall. Bottled up and stopped. Back of the 49, no gain of the play, maybe a loss. All kinds of pursuit. Mason Parker right up the middle of the football field, disrupting that. Little charge up front from Jed Rance, who's now back in the game. We didn't see a lot of Jed Rance back in the first half. Number 56 for the Jimmies. 51 tackles, 6 tackles for loss this season, and he just wasn't around a whole lot back in the first half for the Jimmies. Second down and 10 for Valley City State. Three receivers with Twins near side, and Thorsgaard has an empty backfield. They'll go to two tight ends balanced, will the Vikings, across the formation. They motion Deutsch to the near side, fake the jet sweep to him. Thorsgaard has time, now throws to Deutsch right side, outside the numbers, looking for a block, got one, sneaks his way inside the 45, down to around the Jimmy 44. It'll be a gain of 7, and 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Vikings, now in Jimmy territory.
Jake Deutsch adding to his great day there. In motion, Thorsgaard looked him off and then gave him the ball, and nice pickup there for Deutsch.
3rd down and 3 for the Vikings. From the Jimmy 44, they need the 41 and a hair in order to pick up the 1st down. A look to the right by Avery Thorsgaard where he has a pair of receivers. The play clock's at 10 seconds as he looks back towards the near side of the football field. Now we'll set his offense with the play clock down to 2. Just got it off at 1. Quick throw, batted and knocked down, caught for the Vikings on the deflection. Staying with it is Xavier Westbrook. He'll catch a deflected ball and takes it to the 32 for a Viking 1st down.
Dangerous deflection there, and Viking fans can take a breath of relief after Westbrook makes that catch, because those deflected balls could have resulted in a lot worse for the Vikings.
Usually do in that situation, but the Vikings got away with one there. 1st down and 10, the Vikings at the Jimmy's 33-yard line. Jimmy's showing blitz. Thorsgaard an empty backfield. He sees the blitz coming, runs away from it, now bounces outside. Got low of the 30 and slides his way down to the 29. And the late flag comes in. Very late, but there could have been a Viking hold in this situation. Yeah, it's going to be a hold against the Vikings. Let's go back on the NewsDakota.com replay, and you'll see the deflected ball and Xavier Westbrook staying with it. There it is, batted up in the air, but Westbrook kept his eyes on it the entire time. And like you mentioned, that's a very dangerous situation. In the end, though, the Vikings will take a negative play. It looked like there was a hold. The official took a little extra time to spot it in. It's a 7-yard loss on the penalty. And the Vikings left 1st and 17 at the Jimmy 40. Clock down to 8:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. Vikings leading 14-0, trying to turn this into a 3-score game on the opening 2nd half possession of the day. 3 receivers, Twins right, and Thorsgaard waiting for the snap. He's got it. Quick throw right side, pass caught right side, and knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line is Dom Sotomayor. He'll be tackled by Parker Chaffee in front of us. They'll get almost the penalty back. It'll be a gain of 6, and it's 2nd and 11 for the Vikings.
And Sotomayor had that great catch in the 1st half that eventually led to that Viking touchdown, and he hasn't been used a lot, but when he has, he's been good, Ryan.
Didn't have a touchdown pass at all last year, touchdown catch. Got one right away against Minot State this season, 2 on the year. 2nd down, 11. Thorsgaard rolling right side, looking, throwing in the flat, pass is caught again. The Jimmies are basically letting the Vikings catch that ball on the hook and then just trying to make contact, and it's going to be nothing but a 2-yard pickup in this situation for Nick Mears, who comes in to make a catch. Mears has been a great addition for the Vikings the last few weeks. Freshman wide receiver out of Rolla, North Dakota. Here's a 3rd down and 9, and likely 4-down territory. Too deep for a field goal here. The Vikings 2 downs to get 9 yards.
That's right, and if you're Jamestown, now's the time. You need to stop. Now is the time.
Listen to that crowd come to life for the Vikings below us on 3rd down and 9 here at Lockett Stadium and Shelley Ellick Field. 4 receivers and a tight end. They'll motion Finney from right to left. Thorsgaard takes the snap, under pressure, steps up, steps left. Looking outside the numbers again, hit at the 32, knocked down. Right at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Ezra Bellingheri again comes up with a stop for UJ, and it's 4th down for the Vikings. Well, the Vikings are going to take this inside of 7 minutes to go. They hold the football for 8 minutes and counting in the 3rd quarter, and now we're going to bring in Evan Lorenzo to attempt what is going to be a 50-yard field goal. There's no wind in this situation, so it's all Lorenzo looking to hit from 50. Avery Thorsgaard will hold. Good snap, hold down, kick on its way, not going to have enough leg. This one's going to come up short, and the Jimmies are going to take over on downs as the Vikings end up short of points on that opening 2nd half possession. So the Jimmy defense holds. Vikings lead 14-0. The Jimmies will get the ball for the first time with 8 minutes and 31 seconds taken off the third quarter clock, but the Jimmies still within 2 scores.
Yeah, I think we were both a bit surprised by that field goal try by the Vikings. And, you know, when you have Avery Thorsgaard, especially on 4th down, he has the option. He does that little pooch kick, Ryan, that can get the Jimmies, you know, really pinned in their own end. But went for the 50-yarder. As a fantasy manager, you like to see it. But interesting play call there by the Vikings.
Johnny Grant is back in as the quarterback for UJ. Nick Martinez took an injury first half. They'll give this ball away to the second running back of the day, but Zach Hammett's been really the first running back today, and Hammett with a head of steam out to the 37 for a gain of 4 before he's confronted by Ty Combs, a junior linebacker out of Buffalo, North Dakota. And I'll tell you what, when you're looking for a picture of a Viking, you're looking at Ty Combs. Look at the locks down on his shoulders. That guy looks like he just got off the boat that we're all rowing.
Yeah, not hard to pick him out there amongst his teammates. Like you said, picturesque Viking.
I like him, absolutely. All he needs is a sword, and he's Conan the Barbarian. 2nd down and 6. Empty backfield as Grant takes the snap. Under pressure, throws deep downfield, has a wide open receiver at the Viking 20-yard line, and it's caught to the Viking 20 by Erastus Encino. And the Jimmies hit for an explosive play for the first time today. It'll be down to the 21.
Yeah, I saw that one developing, Ryan. Great speed there by Encino. Number 88 there, just burned the Viking secondary. Great throw there by Grant there. That's the first big play for Jamestown.
That will reset the expectations of this one as the Jimmies strike downfield for Erastus Encino. 11 catches, 128 yards on the season to score. That one's a big one as it quickly changes field position, and the Jimmies are in Viking territory on 1st down and 10 from the Viking 21. Johnny Grant waiting out of the pistol, and now we'll see a timeout taken by the University of Jamestown. So the Jimmies will call for timeout, and we will do the same with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Vikings leading by a score of 14-0. The Jimmies on the move. This is Viking football on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel at newsdakota.com on the Voice of the Vikings, Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News & World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
Well, a report from the sideline that Landon Peel, our cameraman, picked up on today. Loke Yese, one of those fantastic linebackers for Valley City State, is in street clothes on the sideline. Apparently lost on that injury early in the opening half that we saw, and planning to not return today. They'll give to Zach Hammett. Well, the Jimmies on 1st down, and Hammett wrestling his way outside of the 20 down to around the 19. That'll put the ball inside the red zone for the first time for UJ today. A 2-yard pickup for Zach Hammett. But with Loke Yese on the sideline, he's been out there for a while. He's been off the field for a while. Took that injury early, but it does change up Viking personnel. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Jimmies of the Viking 19. Vikings leading 14-0, held the ball for 8.5 minutes to start the third quarter, but did not get in. And one bomb down the field from Johnny Grant to Erastus Encino has changed everything, and UJ on the move. They'll empty the backfield with Hammett out of motion. A drop back by Grant, a throw in the flat. Pass is caught up and around the Viking 13-yard line. Pass is caught for the Jimmies by Lucas Andrews, a tight end, sophomore out of Asante, Minnesota. Andrews picking up his first catch today. And here's 3rd down and 2. Couple of big plays here, and I don't think the Jimmies are settling for 3 with the clock under 4 minutes to go. This 4-down territory for UJ.
Yeah, absolutely, especially this is their first time in the red zone. And look to Zach Hammett here to pick up the 1st down. He's been good on the ground for UJ.
3rd down and 2. Johnny Grant is under center for the Jimmies. He'll start a man in motion. Hammett left side, cuts back over the middle, stacked up, spun down as he got inside the 10. He's at the Viking 9, and it will be 1st down and goal for the University of Jamestown. The first time today that they start sniffing out points, they're at the Viking 9.
Yeah, there. Zach Hammond been a big piece of that offense. Obviously had a great day, minus that fumble late in that first half. But you had the feeling they were going to go to him on 3rd and short.
You also have the feeling that really, the way this game is played out today, the balance of the game is in front of the Jimmies in these next 4 snaps or less. You don't get in here, there's a real issue. So the Jimmies first and goal from the Viking 9. Hammett to the left of Johnny Grant. Takes the snap. Hammett right side stretch. Hit in the backfield. Cuts back. Got himself to the 6. Driven backward. The pile tries to move him. He'll be down at around the 6, perhaps 5-yard line. A pickup of 4 after a Viking got a hand on him in the backfield but couldn't quite bring down Zach Hammett, who's been rather shifty today. And the Vikings have a man struggling to get up out of the bottom of that pile. And I believe that's Mosiah Rogers-Tavau. Tavau is an edge rusher for the Vikings up on the defensive line. Tavau tried to get to his feet and could not, and the training staff will come on to tend to him. So the Vikings already down Loke Yese in the linebacker core. And would have to go someplace else for help up on the defensive line if Mosiah Rogers-Tavau were not able to continue.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding that leg there.
He tried to struggle up, got boxcar, but as he tried to come to his feet, he realized it just wasn't going to happen, and so ended up going back down to the turf. And the Jimmies will have second down and goal from the 5 coming up with 2.5 to go. And this is setting up for a photo finish fourth quarter right now with the Jimmies knocking on the door. The Vikings leading 14-0 as every paint bucket game should be a photo finish, should it not?
Absolutely, and I think we were getting a little too comfortable. 14-0 here in the booth. Obviously, momentum can change like that, Ryan, and it sure did with that long pass grand to Encino there. And now Jamestown definitely, to your point, has the chance to shift the balances a bit.
Jamestown looking for their first victory of the year. Both teams looking for their first conference win. Injury taken care of. 2:31 to go. Second down and goal from the Viking 5 for the Jimmies. Johnny Grant will shift his tight end, Lucas Andrews, from left to right. They're overloaded to that right side of the line. They give it away to Hammett, who tries up the middle of the field. He's into the end zone for a Jimmy touchdown. And the Jimmies will cut the lead to 6, rather to 8, at 14-6 with a convert pending. Right up the middle of the field, you can hear that Jamestown crowd that's here today. They are really loud when they have the opportunity, and they haven't had the opportunity to be loud too many times this season. But Zach Hammett gets into the end zone for a touchdown, and that big pass over the top to Erastus Encino set it up. That's what being explosive will do for you, as the Jimmies will run out their place kicker to attempt the extra point opportunity. Kick is on its way. Looks like it's good, and it is. And the extra point good for who's the young man kicking the football here? Still waiting to see a number. Is it number 37? It wasn't 87.
I want to say 87.
Yeah, it is. Annan Peterson, kicker out of Andover, Minnesota, comes up with the extra point. And so the Vikings will spot a touchdown to Zach Hammett. We take a look at it on our NewsDakota.com replay, and you'll see Hammett, who's been stacked up at his initial point of attack throughout the course of the day, tried it right, but spun his way back to the middle and found his way into the end zone for the University of Jamestown. Ball came out at the end, but that was clearly into the end zone before Hammett lost a handle on the ball. And now the pressure is on the Viking offense to answer with the team down to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Jamestown, this is a huge stop here. If you can leave this defensive, or rather this offensive possession for the Vikings without giving up any points, this game has a whole lot more on it here, Ryan.
Yeah, the defense is going to come out now for the University of Jamestown with an onus. It's going to be up to them to try to get a stop and get their hands on the football, because the momentum is now in their possession of this one. Ethan Lieb, who's a freshman kicker out of Newell, Minnesota, will kick this away. Good end-over-end kick. And Xavier Westbrook from the 3 has the return for Valley City State. Starts up the middle, shook a tackle, found a wedge, and now busts outside, and he's got a big hole. He's to the numbers at the 50. Down the sideline, no one's going to catch him. To the house! Touchdown, Valley City State! How's that for an answer? Xavier Westbrook, 97 yards. And the Vikings have a 13-point lead.
How do you like that answer right there, Ryan? Xavier Westbrook. A lot of jukes, a lot of moves, finds some space, just a kicker to beat, obviously, there, and he wasn't getting stopped. I think they're going for 2. No, they got something going on.
They've kicked out of this formation before. They come out, show you a different look. And you talk about a momentum stealer. 97 yards for Xavier Westbrook to the house for a touchdown to answer the Jimmy challenge. An explosive play met by explosive play as the Vikings are back up 13. Evan Lorenzo comes on to attempt the extra point opportunity to put it back to 14. Kick is on its way, and that kick is good. On the NewsDakota.com replay, let's get a look at Xavier Westbrook. Middle return, bounced off a tackler there, got a block on the edge, and that's all Westbrook on his way down the sideline, and no chance to catch him. And the Vikings will take the lead to 21-7. We have a timeout on the field for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. It's 21-7 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, and we're back with more Viking football next.
This is Dr. Amanda Heck, physical therapist with Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Valley City, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Enderlin. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. From sports injuries to work-related injuries, neurological diagnosis, and pediatric development delays, we will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Well, that Viking crowd was waiting to go nuts as well, just as the Jimmy crowd had done a moment before that on the touchdown run by Zach Hammett. And it was a 5-yard touchdown run for Hammett. That led to a 97-yard touchdown kickoff return for Xavier Westbrook. Vikings back up 2 scores at 21-7. Short end-over-end kickoff to the near side of the field. And this stays on the field of play, and the Vikings recover it. The Jimmies did not cover it, and the Vikings come up with a football. Khalil Toney comes down the field to recover the kickoff for the Vikings, and it goes from Jimmy momentum to a kickoff return for the Vikings for a score, and the Vikings the chance to throw a knockout punch with 2 minutes left to go in the third.
Yeah, weird bounce by the football there, but a bit of a mental lapse there by the University of Jamestown. You got to be all over that football, especially with Valley City State uniforms bearing down that quick, and Valley City State with an absolute gift of an opportunity here. 1st and 10 Vikings from the Jimmy 20-yard line. Can they capitalize on what is essentially a Jimmy turnover? Avery Thorsgaard wants it all, throws near side too high for Jake Deutsch and incomplete. Deutsch coming out to the near edge and was covered well on the side by Ray Benners, a defensive back out of Huntington, West Virginia. And it will be 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Vikings from the Jimmy 20. Boy, if you can get in the house here, you have a chance to lock this one down perhaps a little bit early and really deflate this Jimmy crowd that's over across the way. Yeah, absolutely. And especially if off of a play like that, a kickoff gone bad a bit there for Jamestown.
2nd down and 10. Pair of receivers to the left side of the field. Thorsgaard waiting for a shotgun snap. Legarius Marshall is his mate in the backfield, and he will motion to the near side. Thorsgaard calling his own number behind that, pulling Bryce Prouty again. Thorsgaard got spun up a little bit, but is able to nudge the pile to the 18 for a gain of a couple of yards. They've done a lot of that with Bryce Prouty today. He's the center, number 71, and comes out of his stance after snapping the ball and becomes a pulling center out towards the right or left, depending upon the direction. 2-yard pickup for Thorsgaard. Here comes 3rd down and 8. What do you do here if you're the Vikings? Do you try to convert, or do you go for the home run in this situation? What do you do?
You know, you definitely, regardless here, you got a 3-score game if you kick a field goal. So I think you just make it a little easier for Evan Lorenzo here. Get it to a 3-score game. Chew clock here. If you want to run the ball, run the ball.
3 receivers along with the tight end to the right. Thorsgaard dropping back, looking to throw. Flushed away, under pressure, throws off his back foot, incomplete just to avoid the negative play. And as you talked about, the Vikings at the 18 would now look at about a 35-yard field goal attempt. And that's what Evan Lorenzo is going to come out to attempt. 35-yard try to make it a 3-score game with 1:04 to go in the 4th quarter. But if you're the Jimmies, boy, you feel like you got to the corner after taking a couple of heavy blows. You're able to survive and play on. So Evan Lorenzo, 35-yard try, far hash to try to make it a 17-point Viking lead. Out of the hold of Avery Thorsgaard. Snap is good, the hold is down. Kick's got enough leg, it's on its way, and that kick is good, and the Vikings capitalize on the errant kickoff coverage by the Jimmies with a 3-pointer and take a 24-7 lead with 1:04 to go here in the 3rd quarter. That's a big sequence of events for the Vikings to take that lead to 3 scores. You feel like you wanted more in that situation. And I'll tell you, I'm sure you've noticed this as well, Jaden. The Vikings have been reluctant to attack the middle of that Jimmy defense all day. They've been on the edge, they've been underneath, but they haven't really tried that cover 2 beater on the post route for whatever reason. They haven't been comfortable throwing that football that way or in that direction today.
Well, I don't think they've needed it either. I think when they've had, that short underneath pass, those guards hit it, and I think that's been really big for the Vikings, and they've picked up modest yardage on all their plays. Like we said, nothing really deep, no big post routes that we've been seeing run, but it's working, and you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know it's the second time I'm saying it, but Valley City State looks really comfortable running the offense the way they've run this offense.
Now they got to come out there and try to get a stop defensively, though. Their defense broke down the last time they were on the field, gave up the big explosive play on the throw across the top to Orestes Encino, who hadn't caught the ball throughout the course of the day up until that point, but got loose and came up with a big catch for 42 yards. And the Vikings will kick it away again. Evan Lorenzo puts it up in the air, end over end and short, be taken about the 7-yard line by Encino. The 20, the 25, now he found a wedge, clipped down as he got to the 35, makes his way out to around the 38. Special team stop coming up on the near side. How about back-to-back stops on special teams for Khalil Toney? Recovered the kick a couple of moments ago, but the Jimmies get good field position again as the return from Encino will take it out to near the 41.
And if Toney doesn't trip him up there, I think he's going to the house too. Great speed there from Encino, accelerates really well, and we saw it especially on that big catch he made on that throw from Johnny Gran. And you're going to have to see this Jamestown offense. They're not going to be able to take their time. They got to hurry up. They're down 3 scores.
Down 3 scores at this point, and we'll see Johnny Gran come out, give the ball away to Carlos Julian, and Julian's not going anywhere. To the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Host of Vikings were in the vicinity to get to that one, and Georgia Magnejo, who has played an amazing game today for the Vikings. We've said his name continuously with a stop to force 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Magnejo's had a really good game on defense there, and big start to that defensive, offensive possession by the Jamestown Jimmies. Good stop there by the Vikings defense.
2nd and 10. Jimmies will go to 4 receivers. They'll send 3 to the left, trying to spread the Vikings out. Gran waiting out of the shotgun. 20 seconds to play in the quarter. Gran dropping back. Quick throw, screen pass. And Julian just got blown up. Caught the football, and Emmanuel Spivey saw him coming and lit him up. And that's the way that the third quarter is going to come to a conclusion. Take a look at this again on our NewsDakota.com replay as, he goes down after taking a shot in the midsection, and he's on the field. You watch how this gets timed up. There he is, and there's Spivey with just a crushing blow that puts him down on the field. And the clock will stop with 4 seconds left to go in the third quarter as they tend to Carlos Julian, who just caught the football. They put it back in the line of scrimmage, which is the 39. Actually, maybe a yard loss on the play, but Emmanuel Spivey, sophomore out of Fargo, North Dakota, comes up with what is, to this point, the hit of the game.
Yeah, and I think we all saw that one coming. Spivey closed in quick on Julian, and credit to Julian for holding onto the ball. That was a vicious hit by Emmanuel Spivey.
Julian's up, going off under his own power. And what's coming up here for the Jimmies is a big 3rd down at 11. If they don't convert and they're down 3 scores and have to get rid of it, the Vikings have a chance to try to put an end to this one as they get the football back. So this is a big play coming up for the University of Jamestown. Now, they haven't started running the clock yet. So on the injury timeout, they left it at 4 seconds. The clock should have run out in the third quarter. They started winding, but they didn't start the clock. And the Jimmies are going to get a chance to snap the football because of that. No, they will not. The clock ran out. Hey, who's over there? A couple of doors down. Hit start on that clock. Let's go now. We're at the end of 3. 3 quarters in the books here at Lockett Stadium today. And the Vikings with a 97-yard kickoff return by Xavier Westbrook. And then a field goal have extended their lead to 17. It's 24-7 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. A timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking football on the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC, NewsDakota.com with video coverage, and on the Valley City State University Athletics YouTube channel.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Vikings lead 24-7 as we go to the fourth quarter. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Landon Peel with you here today from Locken Stadium. The Jimmies in the first of 2 paint bucket games, their backs to the wall. Down 24-7 as we start the fourth quarter, and they face 3rd down and 11 from their own 39-yard line. The Vikings trying to get their offense back on the field with a 3-score lead. 3rd down and 11, Johnny Gran out of the shotgun for UJ. Dropping back, just faces a 3-man rush. Airs one out near side of the field, and it's incomplete. Good hand fighting down the near side, and no call on it. Dawson Schmidt was the intended target, but he got locked up with James Don, the Division II transfer out of Northern State University. So on 4th down, the Jimmy punt team will come in, and this will open the door for the Vikings. Looking to grab their first conference victory. Nothing's for sure, but if you can go down the field and go up by a 4-score margin in the fourth quarter, you feel pretty good about your chances.
There we go. I'm back on. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And we're going to get a punt here.
Brooks Butt will kick the football away. Line drive, spiraling kick. Micah Olson from the 24-yard line. Olson trying to get out near edge, and he's brought down to the 24. Now here's a little broadcasting tip for you, Jaden. Your microphone doesn't get turned off. Don't take your headphones off before we go to the commercial break. See what's going on there?
Yep.
I got to turn your microphone off because you're kind of...
Gotcha. Right? Learning on the air.
Yeah, that's, well, hey, that's the best way to learn.
Absolutely.
Right? By the way, you got an answer on that county thing for us,
I do, yeah. We do have counties. I don't live in one.
You don't live in a county in Canada?
No.
But Canada has counties.
Yes. So I'll have to do more research into that. But
very interesting day.
Sturgeon County, the nearest to us.
Got it. Avery Thorsgaard out of the shotgun with 3 receivers on 1st down. And Thorsgaard keeping the ball when he didn't mean to on a zone read that he wanted to get rid of. And then he said he turns the corner on the far side of the field. Outside the numbers and down the sideline into Jimmy territory inside the Jimmy 40 on what was an absolute broken play that Thorsgaard turns into a big hitter. Avery Thorsgaard, the senior out of Northwood, North Dakota, who would love one more win over the Jimmies in his college career, has had a chance to go start to finish as the quarterback today, and he has managed the game wonderfully.
Yep, he's been good in the ground, good in the air, and been manufacturing a lot of broken plays into a lot of yards, and one of them being a touchdown.
From the Jimmy 39, it's 1st down and 10 for the Vikings, leading 24-7 after 3 quarters. High snap, Legarius Marshall looking up the middle, spins his way into pressure, maybe a yard to around the 37. Let's take a look at some numbers that we have for you as we start the fourth quarter. Avery Thorsgaard now 16 of 23 throwing the football for 113 yards, 18 carries for 71 yards today. Legarius Marshall 7 carries, 55. For the Jimmies, Johnny Gran 5 of 8 throwing, 68 yards. Zach Hammett, the big day, 17 carries for 85 yards today for Zach Hammett for UJ to lead the way. 2nd down and 9 for Valley City State at the Jimmy 37-yard line. Clock moving, 13 and a half minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Thorsgaard stepping up behind his offensive line, calling out play, gives it away to Legarius Marshall, who turns the corner near side, tries to come up on the hash marks and drove his way to the 35 for a gain of a couple. And right now, the game plan for the Jimmies, it seems, Jaden, is to continue to try to make the Vikings one-dimensional, and that is to take that run away. They're not going to let Marshall beat them after that first drive for a touchdown. At some point, if you're the Vikings and you've got killer instinct, you're going to throw the football here.
Yeah, absolutely, and you have no problem throwing the football on a day like today when Thorsgaard's throwing it well. A note here, Ryan. It looks like a Viking went up. I think it was Trent Finney. Looked like he was limping off on one knee on the sideline, so we'll keep an eye on that.
4 receivers in Kaiua Nishigaya comes in as the running back now for the Vikings to the left of Avery Thorsgaard on 3rd down and 6. Snap taken, Thorsgaard, a little rocket screen. Jake Deutsch trying to bust his way outside. Did as he got to the 25 and runs out of bounds to the Jimmy sideline at the 24-yard line. That's a pickup of 12 yards. That's been a staple of the Viking offense since going back to the days of Steve Battle in the 2000-2001 era, where he could take that all the way to the house, and it stays in the Viking playbook. That time it's good enough for a first down.
Yeah, good speed there by Deutsch on the throw underneath to get around that corner, get the first down, and a couple extra.
Tell you what, when we say Jake Deutsch's name in the same line as Steve Battle and Chauncey Calhoun. He's in very good company in Viking receiver lore. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Jimmy 25. Snap coming up for Avery Thorsgaard. Kayua Nishigaya then back to Thorsgaard zone. Reed gets low, shucks a tackle down to the 24 for a gain of a yard. David Diaz had turned the corner out on the right side for the Jimmies to force Thorsgaard back in. And a yard pickup for Thorsgaard makes it 2nd down and 9. The Vikings up 17. A field goal here keeps it a 3-score game, but takes the field goal out of play for the Jimmies. So the clock moving in the right direction. The Vikings can even tack on 3 and extinguish clock. It puts them in the right spot. And I don't know that they'll throw until 3rd down, if they will at all. Pair of receivers to the right on 2nd down and 9. Thorsgaard looking across the formation, the snap, rolling right side. I guessed wrong. They want to throw. They throw near side. Sotomayor dragging his feet again. Another catch along the boundary for another big play. Oh, look at this again, folks, on the NewsDakota.com replay for those of you on video coverage. He's done this twice today, and it's been masterful the way he does it. Thorsgaard a little bit too much air into this throw, and there's Sotomayor just dragging his feet right in front of the boundary. He's done it twice here today, and that brings a 1st down for the Vikings to the Jimmy 13-yard line. Clock moving, 10.5 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Vikings looking to put one in the house and perhaps put this one away. 1st and 10 from the Jimmy 13. 3 receivers, Thorsgaard trying to get behind a lead block, and that just didn't work out so well. He tried left side off guard, and he was met by Ezra Bellingheri, who they may retire his number over at the University of Jamestown Hall of Fame by the time this game is over. Bellingheri has been the heart and soul of that Jimmy defense today. He's played a wonderful game for UJ.
Yeah, absolutely. He's responsible for a lot of the big defensive plays that UJ has come up with when they have come up with a defensive play, and Thorsgaard had no room to go with Bellingheri right there.
4 receivers, 3 left on 2nd down and 11 for the Vikings. Now back at their own, or rather at the Jimmy 14-yard line. Shotgun snap to Thorsgaard, calling his own number right side, trying to turn the corner, the 10 to the 5, lays out towards the goal line, but is short of it at around the 3. It may be enough for a 1st down. We'll see where they spot the football. They're going to say 3rd down and short by inches for Valley City State. So the Vikings, 3rd down, less than a yard to try to earn a 1st and goal and see if they can eke one into the end zone to take a huge lead on the Jimmies. Empty backfield on 3rd down and short. Jake Deutsch joins the formation on the right side. The Vikings will put Trent Finney in the backfield. This has got tush push written all over it. Now the Jimmies are trying to make a substitution here, and a whistle and a timeout may have been called by Valley City State. They will do so. So the Vikings will call for a stoppage with 8:50 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. On the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, it's the Vikings 24 and the Jimmies 7. Big 3rd down coming up next on Viking football.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Timeout taken by the Vikings with 8:50 left to go, 4th quarter. 24-7. The Vikings leading by 17 over the University of Jamestown. Peyton Puckett game number 1 of the 2024 season, and we could be down to 2 left. This one and one more. The Vikings trying to put their stamp on this one. It's 3rd down and less than a yard for the Vikings from the Jimmy 3. The Vikings are in some sort of modified victory formation. This is Thorsgaard churning his way. Looks like he's got a 1st down. He's not going to have a touchdown, but it will be at the Jimmy 1-yard line, and the Vikings have a 1st and goal. And I know, Jaden, you're thinking exactly what I'm thinking. That's better than a touchdown at this point. That clock keep on running away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Valley City State will not have any problem with the clock ticking down here, and you know, for Thorsgaard, that play has been used a couple times now on 3rd and short, the tush push, as the Eagles call it. And, yeah, They've had really good success with that on 3rd and short today.
Thorsgaard on 1st down and goal. It's Legarius Marshall diving his way towards the goal line. Didn't get in. Turned around. Actually, it wasn't Legarius Marshall. My apologies, folks. That's Colby Jones, running back out of Fargo, North Dakota. Had a really nice week last week against Dickinson State. Over 6 yards a carry in that matchup against the Blue Hawks, but turned away for no gain on that play. And it's 2nd down and goal for Valley City State. Little bootleg here. Let Avery take another one into the house. We'll see. Legarius Marshall's back in as the running back now for the Vikings on 2nd down and goal. And all kinds of time for Avery Thorsgaard to watch the play clock. Thorsgaard under center, gives it away on a counter and a step towards the goal line. And in for a Viking touchdown is Colby Jones. Jones goes counter from left to right, and the Vikings get in for a touchdown to make it 30-7 Valley City State.
Yeah, and I was craning my neck around the corner there, Ryan. We're in a bit of a cramped booth, but another run play for the Vikings. This time leads to a touchdown, and we said that they won't mind the clock getting ticked down. Well, they also won't mind a couple extra points.
Take the points, right? Evan Lorenzo for the extra point to try to take this lead to 24, and the kick is on its way, and it is good. Now it remains a 3-score game with 3 2-point conversions for the University of Jamestown. The Vikings leading effectively by 4 as we take a look at the newsdakota.com replay. Colby Jones from your left to right on the screen, just getting a push on that counter and finding a hole, and it wasn't a big one, but he was able to find his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Vikings lead 31-7 with 7:31 to go in the matchup.
And Ryan, in the 3rd quarter, we were talking about after a Zach Hammond touchdown, we were talking about a swing in the favor of the Jimmies, and then obviously the kickoff return, and then that botched kickoff return by the Jimmies makes it a 31-7 score. So really interesting to see how that kind of unfolded, and what could have been if that kickoff return doesn't go to the house right after that Jimmy touchdown.
Absolutely.
But the
at
Vikings
that point,
have definitely.
That's the play of the game at this point right now for the Vikings, the fact that you've had the lead cut to 7, as you're talking about, Jaden, and the momentum's very much in the balance. UJ has captured it, the big explosive play at the touchdown. But as soon as and then the very next play being the kickoff that you don't cover, and it's tough to come back in that situation, especially when you're on the road in a game like this.
Absolutely. And Valley City's capitalized on the University of Jamestown's mistakes.
Evan Lorenzo to kick it away. Another angled kick into empty space. And the Jimmies again covering and coming up struggling for the football. It looks like they got this one back. But Evan Lorenzo has found a way to target some soft space on the flanks against the kickoff return and give his team a chance to get downfield. There was also some hitting in that sequence as well, and there's a Jimmy down on the far sideline.
Yeah, it looked like he took a bit of a hit there, and good to see him up. And yeah, he's kind of figured that soft spot in that UJ kickoff return and almost exploited it once again.
Makes me wonder how long it's going to be before they obviously adopt the professional rules, which usually what starts at the NFL trickles its way down to college football, and you've got a landing zone and all those types of things. But that's for another time.
Right.
Let's see if we can get a stop. Johnny Graham out of the shotgun with 4 receivers, trips to his left on 1st down and 10. Grant dropping back, little late blitz gets to him. He throws right side, pass caught, 1st down, up and around the 41-yard line for UJ. That'll be caught by Colton Schumacher, who had a catch earlier in the game, and we haven't heard from him since. And the Jimmies know they've got to hurry. They come up to the 42, and they're ready to snap the football again. Clock moving against them with 7 minutes to go. Graham the snap, looks once, throws near side, pass caught, and a slip on the near side trying to get away from Ethan Hoffman, and Hoffman's down at around the 47 for a gain of about 5.
Ball almost came loose there too, Ryan. It looked like it just got out of the hands, and he recovered it on the ground. He might have been down regardless, but trouble holding on to the football today for the Jimmies.
Johnny Graham with the football in his hands out of a shotgun snap, rolling right side, pressure, rolls away from that, steps up, throws underneath, incomplete. Just kind of dumping that one away, and here comes another flag against the Vikings. Johnny Grant taking a hit after the fact, and these are the things that the Vikings can't afford to do in these types of situations. Johnny Grant had thrown the football. That's going to be a roughing the passer penalty against Valley City State, and the Jimmies are going to get the ball in Viking territory up and around the 38-yard line.
Yeah, Ryan, like you said, unforced errors, and You know, if they take care of business right now with a 3-score lead, it looks pretty good for them, but they can't be doing this. They can't be making mistakes that are very in their control.
31-7, Valley City State by 24, 6.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of football, but an errant play by the Vikings after forcing an incomplete pass. A roughing the passer call will move the ball to the Viking 38-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 for the University of Jamestown. 3 receivers, twins right. They'll motion a tight end behind the formation. Julian's back in the game. Vikings get hold, no flag. They throw over the middle of the football field. Pass incomplete, picked off! The Vikings will take it away! Valley City State with a batted football that's taken away by Malachi Mitchell. A backup linebacker for the Vikings. Malachi Mitchell out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Or was that? No, that was Gavin Gerhardt. My apologies, folks. That was Gavin Gerhardt that comes up with the interception. Looked like aid was 0. Second pick of the season for Gavin Gerhardt, and the Vikings love the football at their own 8-yard line.
Yeah, great awareness there by Gerhardt to pick up that batted ball, and everything going wrong for Jamestown here.
So the Vikings bring the offense back on the field, leading 31-7. The ball's at their own 8-yard line after Gavin Gerhardt makes a sensational play, catching a batted football. The Vikings will give it away into the 10. Goes new running back Marty Gone, a sophomore out of Huron, South Dakota, out to the 11-yard line. Gone was in the mix last year, and a handful of running backs for the Vikings in that spot. Justice Bai still around. Kayu Nishigai had just come to the Vikings, and Marty Gone factored into the mix there, but hasn't seen a lot of action this season. We'll get some now.
And Ryan, it appears that Noah Chambers is under center here for the Vikings now.
Is that Chambers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was his first snap of the day. So I guess he's coming on for this drive here.
Yeah, Noah will be out of the shotgun. Good call by my counterpart, Jaden Babiak, here to see Noah Chambers coming on the field. Shotgun snap, going up the middle, just charging into a crowd. We'll see if the Jimmies take a timeout here. They're going to, I believe. UJ going to use one of their timeouts to conserve as much clock as they can, as they're down 3 scores for sure. Clock got started. I don't think they realized that the Jimmies have asked for a timeout. Now they got it stopped, but they'll have a clock reset coming up. So the Vikings will face a 3rd down and 7. When we come back, the Vikings leading 31-7. Gavin Gerhardt, fantastic play, moving his way down the field to catch a batted football. And the Vikings will face a 3rd down and long when we come back on Viking Football Next.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Timeout taken by the Jimmies as they need to conserve some clock. They're down to 1 timeout left. It's the Vikings 31, the Jimmies 7. And a 3rd down and 7 coming up for Valley City State. The Vikings are going to change running backs again. I believe this is Owen Quall that will come into the mix now for Valley City State. Noah Chambers waiting for the snap for the Vikings. Out of the timeout. Vikings and Jimmies both ready. A little extra media stoppage that we have in this one today, which is holding up the progress of both teams here as they're ready to get going. 5:43 to play in the fourth quarter. And if you're the Jimmies, I don't think you can use another timeout right after this play. I think you've got to save one defensively for the next possession. That also means you're probably in onside kick mode if you do score. So with 5:43 to go, 3rd down and 7. Chambers, shotgun snap, looking, throwing, comeback screen. It's caught by the Vikings, and down at the 12-yard line is Ishmael Jones, a tight end out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And boy, I guessed wrong. The Jimmies are going to use their last timeout.
Yeah, I mean, coming down to the wire here, there's really no perfect way to manage the game down 3 scores and 5. But like you said, you'd kind of want to save that in case something crazy happens.
I think what it does is it puts them all in now. So they're out of timeouts, which means if you score, if you're not recovering onside kicks, you've kind of conceded the football game, right? I mean, if you do go and score points on this next possession and you don't recover the onside kick, you spotted 2 minutes to the Vikings. So the Vikings kick it here. You take a minute to score, 4.5. You don't recover the onside kick. Nearest you're getting the ball back 2.5 minutes is kind of where you're at this point. they figured we'll take the clock on the front end rather than the back end, I suppose.
Yep, absolutely. And for the Vikings, it's just going to be don't make a mistake here. Just finish this game how you finished games before, whether that be high school, college.
This is a big punt here, though.
Absolutely.
You don't want to turn it over, don't want to have an errant snap, and then you have a very dangerous Ray Benners back to return this kick. Waiting at the Viking 45. Jim Miller gets the snap, gets it away. Driving, spiraling kick over Benner's head. He has to go back to the Jimmy 40 to get it. Then he retreats all the way to the Jimmy 31. And here's a block in the back coming up against the Jimmies as Benners only returns to the 35. You talk about things going bad for the University of Jamestown. You're thinking a chance to get good field position. The punt just clears you. Benners was at the Viking 45. He ran all the way back to the 31. There's an injured Viking on the play, and then a block in the back. And this very likely going to start inside the Jimmy 25-yard line.
And is that Jim Miller down? Or?
Yeah, it looks like he's got a cramp. They're stretching out his hamstring. It is warm enough today to where you didn't anticipate this. It wasn't supposed to be like this today. Turns out to be a credit for the fans, though, because it's a beautiful afternoon. It was just supposed to be a little bit cooler than this.
Yeah, absolutely, and no wind. I remember the last one we were doing here was Dakota State and Valley, and what do we have, 30-mile-an-hour winds, Ryan? You couldn't get a pass in the air,
right.
But, I mean, it was really a picture-perfect day for a game of football, and obviously our view into the trees, the leaves are turning. Great fall game here for
And a good point from our cameraman as well, Landon Peel, who says, well, when you're on the turf, it's even worse than when you're on a natural surface. Of course, I don't know where we go where we don't play on turf anymore.
Yeah.
Mayville, Dickinson, Dakota State, here, over in Jamestown, everybody in the league has turf, so I don't know that we've seen a grass surface this season. Minot, Augsburg? No.
Yeah, no. Turf's becoming more prominent. It's easier to manage, obviously.
Yep.
It's becoming more prominent in the baseball setting, too, so.
I saw a game on grass last night down in Wapaton, and it almost seemed unnatural. Like, it's weird. As it turns out, that's the way we used to play the game.
That's
back,
right.
You know? And here at Hannafield in Valley City, they've got grass as well. Johnny Gran, with the Jimmies backed up at their own 24 following the penalty, and Gran is hit, and the ball comes out. The Vikings try to pile on to it, and they say they have it. And we'll see. Gran took a hit. It's the first time the Vikings have gotten to him today. We're waiting. Viking football. Johnny Gran takes a strip sack. The Vikings recover it at the 14-yard line, and they're in the driver's seat now. We take a look at it on the newsdakota.com replay. Johnny Gran never saw this coming. It was on his right side. He was looking at it, but he never saw the hit coming, and the ball comes out there. The pileup goes on from there. The Vikings recover, and it's 1st and 10, Valley City State at the Jimmy 14 with a chance to put this one on ice.
Yeah, from bad to worse for the Jamestown offense, and just salt in the wound there on the strip sack by the Vikings.
Owen Quall to the left of Noah Chambers on 1st down and 10. Quall to get it, looks up the middle. Hit as he got to the 11. And this is all about the clock now for Valley City State. And I'll tell you what, you think about going down scoring a touchdown, but in this kind of game, the paint bucket game, there's a certain amount of savor the flavor when you've got the lead, you've got this thing all but sewn up, and you just look and watch that clock tick away, knowing that it only separates you from a victory, right? That's kind of the way it feels.
Absolutely, and this one's, again, just a little more special with the paint bucket on the line, and kind of crazy we're going to get 2 of these this year, Ryan.
Yeah, the next one will be over in Jamestown. Some new personnel coming out for the Vikings as well. Chambers takes the snap. This is a new running back in the football game for the Vikings, and he'll carry it down to near 1st down yardage. The new man in the game to run the football for the Vikings is out of Cannon Falls, Minnesota. I just had him. There he is, Peyton Burrow, a freshman out of Cannon Falls. It's going to be 3rd down and 2 for the Vikings as the ball will go down to about, is that the Jimmy 6? The way they have this set up, I think the Vikings need the Jimmy 4, maybe 4.5 for a 1st down. And the Vikings look at 3rd down and 2, leading 31-7, 4 minutes to go in the football game. The turn, and this is Noah Chambers giving away in the backfield for a gain of perhaps 1 to the 5. Now what do you do if you're the Vikings? You send out the field goal unit, I would think, or are they going to try to keep the football? You know, let's explain this. Dennis McCulloch, probably not the happiest that UJ is destabilizing the league, He's not going to take the 3 points. He's going to make sure that they are in the stoppage. And so they're going to give this ball to Noah Chambers, who drives his way down to the 2-yard line. And this is Dennis McCulloch's way of saying, you guys want to go down to the G-Pack, and then you guys want to go Division II, and you want to stir it all up for us, and we don't have a lot of control of that, but we've got control of this. And he's going to keep the football rather than tack on 3 points.
Yeah.
First and goal, Vikings.
Not surprised there by Dennis McCulloch. And, yeah, you just want to run it up a little bit here against your counterparts. And
you got to be careful. There's another one coming up over in Jamestown. Right. But at the same time, there's a subtle little signal there that, hey, go enjoy the Division II level, because you put us all in a spot now where we got to really think about our futures. High snap to Chambers, ball's out. Chambers picks it up off the turf and will be brought down back at around the 9. I think there's a flag down as well with the clock down to 2:38 to go. The Vikings about to pick up their first conference victory. They would improve to 2-4. And for the Jimmies, 0-6 in your final year as an NAIA school. And I'm sure if you're a University of Jamestown fan of the department, you think about it from the standpoint of, I think our volleyball team's going to be okay. I think our basketball teams might be okay. But a football situation where everybody in the league is going to have a win against you as of today. And next up are some pretty heavy hitters in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference.
A lot of questions.
At the 11-yard line, after a decline of the penalty against the Vikings, it'll be second down and goal from the 11 for Valley City State. Vikings will shift a pair of tight ends to the right. And now we see whistles. And has a timeout been taken? Or did they fail to start the clock?
I'm leaning towards the latter here, Ryan.
Yeah, it was a fumbled football, so no timeout means they probably should have started the clock. So they've reset the play clock. And again, we can't get the game clock to start. There we go. Finally got it started. Okay. Second down and goal for the Vikings from the Jimmy 11. Noah Chambers waiting for a shotgun snap again. Takes it, gives it away in the backfield, and not a lot doing there for another running back for Valley City State, Marty Gone, as he'll be down perhaps for a loss on the play. And the clock down to 2 minutes, 15 seconds left to go.
And again, no problem. Just chewing the clock here for Valley City
Why not?
State.
Absolutely. Great day as we take a look at the numbers for Avery Thorsgaard. 19 of 26, 136 yards. Didn't come up with a touchdown pass. That's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. And 119 yards rushing for Avery Thorsgaard today as well. What a game he's had for Valley City State. We have a timeout on the field for our 2-minute timeout. It's brought to you by Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, and we'll come back with more Viking football in a couple of moments. This is Viking football on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, on NewsDakota.com with video coverage and on the VCSU Athletics YouTube page.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
2-minute timeout taken here today. And with 2 minutes to go, the Vikings leading 31-7 over the University of Jamestown. And the Vikings looking at third down and goal from the Jimmy 13-yard line. Noah Chambers waiting for a shotgun snap, reels in a one-handed snap, tries to bust his way outside, broke a couple of tackles, and then he got free. And he's into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. How about Noah Chambers getting into the end zone with 1:54 to go? It'll be from 13 yards for Chambers, and the Vikings will take the lead to 37-7.
Yeah, a little salt in the wound touchdown there for the Vikings. And again, Jamestown obviously has their chance at revenge, but for today it looks like it's going to be the Vikings' day to hold on to the paint bucket. Noah Chambers getting in on the action there with a 13-yard touchdown run.
Evan Lorenzo onto the field to try to make it a 31-point game. Snap is a bit low, but picked up and put in place by Avery Thorsgaard. Well, the kick by Lorenzo's good, and it's 38-7. We take a look at it on the NewsDakota.com replay. Noah Chambers reeling in a one-handed snap, and Could have been stopped right about there, but just kept running. And then gets the celebration with his teammates in the back of the end zone as well. And that's the part that really makes you savor it for the Vikings, who are now on their way to a 2-4 record. I mean, it was tough. It was tough to lose to Dakota State at home. It was tough to go to Mayville and lose. And it was tough to play decently defensively last week, but struggle offensively and lose at Dickinson State. But when you get a win and you have a chance to sit on it for the bye week as well, this can be one of those things where you can start to feel pretty good about your football team again and get ready for the final 4 games of the year.
Definitely, and you kind of have that signature win under your belt here now for the Vikings, taking down the Jimmies on a big paint bucket day. And yeah, definitely that trophy shelf with the bucket on the bye week is going to look a little more friendly than it would have without. So
absolutely
good on the Vikings for taking care of business today and capitalizing. A lot of their points came off of capitalizing on the University of Jamestown's mistakes, and I think they did that really well.
Evan Lorenzo to kick the football away for the Vikings. It's a ground ball kick up the middle of the field, and again hops through the wickets on one Jimmy, picked up by a second Jimmy. And this will be Benners trying to get away, and it gets clipped down back at the 16-yard line. Big special teams day today for Khalil Toney. And the Jimmies will come back onto the field. And, I can't help but think about it this way, Jaden. The Vikings were beaten in successive weeks by Dakota State, Mayville State, and Dickinson State. And then they put this kind of beating on UJ, and if you're a Jimmy fan, you really start to wonder, okay, what's the status of our football program at this point? I mean, it's not just a one-game situation here, because you look at it that way from the paint bucket game, but when you come back to this, it's like, wow, we just haven't been in the neighborhood here in any of these, and you got to wonder what's going on right now with the University of Jamestown.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with that big move to the Division II level, you have a lot of questions, especially on this front of the football team. Like you said, volleyball, basketball probably okay, but football definitely going to have a lot of questions. And, yeah, they're going to have to get those answered quickly.
New running back in the game for Jamestown. It's Colton Schneider, running back out of Devils Lake. And he'll carry it out to about the 23, where it's a 6-yard pickup. Clock moving, 1:25 to go. And the Vikings will celebrate a paint bucket victory. Post-game report on the way. We'll take a look at some of the game highlights from this one to recap it for those of you that may have joined us late. And then pack up and take a break for a couple of weeks here before the Vikings are back in action. Johnny Grant again. Shotgun snap on second down. Hands it to Schneider, trying to stretch right side. Found some room to work with and gets tackled out of the 29. That'll be enough for a Jimmy first down. Vikings get a tackle that time from number 15, Caleb Tork, a defensive back out of Clarkfield, Minnesota. First down and 10 for the Jimmies, just shy of their own 29-yard line. Clock at 50 seconds. Want to thank Landon Peel for being in the booth with us today. Not only doing the video work, but some spotting up as well. I mean, that's extra effort from Landon Peel. Great to have him as part of the team. Johnny Grant out of the shotgun with 3 receivers again, twins to his left. Hands again to Schneider up the middle. Schneider out to the 35. No correction, not Schneider. Instead, this is Gavin Blomdahl, a running back out of Hermantown, Minnesota, Hermantown Hawk. He's the one that didn't play hockey in Hermantown. They've got this thing going where they're in the state tournament every year, and they're at the Class A level, and everybody thinks they should be Double A.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's
gotcha.
One of those things. Yeah.
See, I just always think if there's a high school in the Midwest, you know it, Ryan. You know the mascot, you know everything. You know the 6th grade English teacher, I don't know.
Down to 2, down to 1, that's it. This one's over. Clock runs out. Ty Combs goes over to the sideline looking for the paint bucket. And now the fans go over and grab the paint bucket, and the Vikings come over and take it with their student section, and the Vikings parade it around the field as the paint bucket is claimed once again by Valley City State. And today, a commanding victory. The Vikings win by a final score of 38-7. The Vikings are 2-4, 1-3 inside the league. The Jimmies 0-6 and 0-5 inside the North Star Athletic Association. And this one, the scoreboard may look a little bit worse than it actually was. There was a time where this is a 14-7 ball game, But the Vikings handled their business with the exception of one big explosive play. And for the Jimmies, there were a couple things that got away from them this afternoon. We'll go to our post-game report. We'll come back with the highlights of this one and start to put a wrap on a paint bucket victory today here at Locken Stadium in Shelley-Ellick Field. This is Viking football on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, on NewsDakota.com and on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Final score 38-7 this afternoon. Valley City State gets the win over the University of Jamestown, a commanding victory as we welcome you to our post-game report today. Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak, Landon Peel with you here today. The Vikings take home the paint bucket. It was a dominant fourth quarter of football for Valley City State. The Vikings led 14-0 at the break. UJ put a little doubt into it, but from the start of the kickoff return that went 97 yards for Xavier Westbrook, that was the beginning of the end of the football game today, and the Vikings go on to pull up a 31-point victory on the University of Jamestown. Good to see the Vikings protect the passer a little bit today. Very efficient game for Avery Thorsgaard. He didn't get hit. He got roughed out of the pocket. He ran. He did some things that were very Avery Thorsgaard-esque, but the Vikings did enough to protect him, give him some time. Vikings run the ball efficiently. UJ struggled to get their offense going today outside of the running game from Zach Hammond.
Yeah, absolutely. And seeing that offensive line do a really good job of protecting the passer and really allowing for that run game to open up was huge. And we said that at the beginning of the game, that was going to be a key to this success. Avery Thorsgaard, great game by him, both in the air, on the ground. Passed it really well on those short passes underneath. A lot of looks to Jake Deutsch today, who also had a really good game, but I thought Avery Thorsgaard played about as good of a game as you can as the quarterback, manufactured a few big runs off of some broken plays, and 38-7, big paint bucket win for the Vikings. They're going to be very happy this week.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the game. We'll go back to the opening half as we see these, and this was the first touchdown of the game for Legarius Marshall. The Vikings knew they had to get him going. Just a breakdown of outside contain for the University of Jamestown, and we see Marshall going to the end zone for a score. Vikings put the first points on the board. This was a big stop for Georgie Magnejo in the ensuing possession. It forced a stoppage from the Jimmies when they had a little momentum going down the field, and then the Vikings would come back with a little bit more down the stretch of the football game. This was a nice play, dropping back, looking to throw. Thorsgaard finding Dom Sotomayor. One of two toe-dragging catches in front of the boundary today. And Thorsgaard, another chance for the Jimmies to break down defensively on the edge. He runs away from traffic in the backfield, and Thorsgaard comes up with a 13-yard touchdown run. That made it a 2-score game at the break. But we would see Xavier Westbrook coming up after a touchdown run for Zach Hammett. Westbrook getting free, and this was the play of the game. 97 yards to the house for Xavier Westbrook to reset that situation, and then a big hit tacked on as well for the Vikings from Emmanuel Spivey just to make a little bit of his presence known. Look at that stick that ended up knocking Carlos Julian out of the game for a moment, and it's punctuated at the very end of the football game with Noah Chambers on a goal situation. Chambers rolling towards his right side. This is a quick throw actually to the boundary for Sotomayor. Apologies on that. Sotomayor dragging his feet again, and then it's Noah Chambers on the drive. This was Chambers putting it into the end zone, breaking a couple of tackles for the final points today. Chambers gets in, and the Vikings take a 38-7 win on this one today. And so the Vikings improved their overall record to 2-4. They'll go to 1-3 inside the conference, and the Jimmies 0-6 overall and currently 0-4 in the conference. And as we mentioned, Jaden, a lot of question marks for this Jimmy football situation that they're in, departing with their offensive coordinator already this year. Not a lot of offense this afternoon that they have as we take a look at the final numbers in this one. And they didn't do badly, but Johnny Grand 8 of 14 for 80 yards. Zach Hammett 85 yards. And if you take Zach Hammett's yardage out of this, we just go to the overall summary when you take a look at, the total yardage for the game today, just kind of trying to track that in. Total yards for the Jimmies, 212. The Vikings, 333. But if you take Hammett's 80 out of that, you're down to about 130 yards somewhere for the entire rest of the team. And that's just a struggle to go through. The Vikings 70 plays to the Jimmies 45. The Vikings 333 yards today to the Jimmies 212. And a beautiful day today, as we mentioned, for Avery Thorsgaard. 19 of 26 throwing the football, 136. Great game plan for him. And then Avery Thorsgaard, 23 carries, $119, a touchdown. Legarius Marshall, 11 carries for 59 yards. He had a touchdown today as well. Xavier Westbrook with a special teams play of the game here today. And the Vikings get the victory by a final score of 38-7.
Yeah, good little overall team win there by the Vikings. And, again, I'm going to bring up, again, Avery Thorsgaard. That's the kind of quarterback you have where you can go run and pass with him. And he made his mark, obviously, 100-plus on both ends of the football. And that's gonna lead to some success for Valley City.
Take care of a lot of things, and the Vikings get a win after struggling the last few weeks out of the gate, obviously. 3 straight losses in the league to Dakota State, Mayville State, and Dickinson State to come home, grab the first of 2 paint bucket games this year over UJ, and not just win it, but there's a lot of doubt in this one as to what are you going to do differently when you play us again over in Jamestown. And you didn't leave this a 1-score game. You made this a 38-7 game to make them think a little bit about it as well.
Absolutely right, and it wasn't one of those ones where there was a lot left at the end to question. But, like you said, this was a 14-7 game at one point. A couple mistakes by Jamestown. Obviously, that botched kickoff return, probably the dagger in the heart there, especially after the 97-yard kickoff return. But, yeah, just everything went from bad to worse for Jamestown as it was looking up. And, again, you just can't have that happen twice in a row on the kickoff. And, yeah, kind of the dagger in the heart and kind of put them to bed with that.
We're going to take one more break on our postgame report, see if we're joined by Dennis McCulloch. If not, we'll wrap things up. The Vikings win it today 38-7 over the University of Jamestown. We're back with more on our postgame report next.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. Get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Lang hard to the basket with a 2-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Holland can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmies. Welcome back to our coverage of Viking football today here on KOVC, the voice of the Valley, also at newsdakota.com, the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel, as we're joined on the postgame report today in a paint bucket victory for the Vikings over the University of Jamestown by Dennis McCulloch, the head coach of Valley City State University Viking football. And Coach Mack, as we get started with your comments today, this is something new that we get to do now because of how we're handling things up here. I'll direct you to the screen, and I'll show you Xavier Westbrook's 97-yard kickoff return as we saw it today. There's Westbrook, and at this point he probably knows he's finding pay dirt, and there he goes down the sideline. And that was a huge moment in the game where you had been scored on and you needed an answer. Xavier Westbrook probably comes up with a play of the game today. Can't overemphasize how big that play was for the Vikings this afternoon.
You're exactly right. I mean, you have a momentum shift, and you could feel it. They had a huge play offensively against us, explosive play. They go in and score it, and then to come right back with that play. And, that's not the direction it's supposed to go. It was going to go right return, and he just sees an opportunity to bounce and come back, and all of a sudden now he's open, and he's quick and fast kid and did a fantastic job for us. I mean, it is a huge play in this game, and you can just feel the difference of the momentum at that moment in time and what happened. So, and then we come right back with it was not supposed to be a short kick, and it ends up being short and rolls back to us. So, I mean, those plays right there were huge in the game and a definite positive piece.
Coach, very efficient game plan today for Avery Thorsgaard. Exploit the openings on the outside, extend the running game, and then give him an opportunity to move around with a football. But he didn't have to take a lot of chances downfield. It really was a game plan that was textbook for what Avery Thorsgaard can do for you.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's Avery's strength, everything you saw out here today, and what we need to do with that piece. And, adding Legarius Marshall, at running back too, and that piece for us helped us a lot. There's a lot of positive pieces with that. But Avery did a great job of managing, find ways to create a seam here, there, and had a really good day of managing this. And I thought Coach York, I know he's gotten a lot of, you get a lot of pressure at your offense. We're moving forward, doing that today. Response, I was very, it says a lot about what his work on the offense to get this thing going and find a way, and he did it today, and I was very impressed with it.
UJ hadn't had a lot of success coming into the game today, but one thing they had done is they had spread the ball around pretty well to their receivers, and there really wasn't any place to get started. So tell us what kind of game plan you had defensively coming into this and how you saw that play out effectively today.
Yeah, I think that we felt like we could match, some of the receivers, and I thought we did that. I thought our third down scheme where we brought in a dime and a nickel and played man. I mean, really two-man is what we did. And match, our guys were able to match and cover, and then you got to get some pressure, and we did that. And we're able to make him move in the pocket, make, get a little nervous, and it's when you're playing straight, if you can do that stuff, what it does is you got to throw in the windows. You got to throw in the tighter windows and be confident doing that. And our guys did a nice job of matching it and playing it well. Again, they had some things early. We're running the football. I thought our guys responded up front defensively. I thought we did a better job. But again, if you can score points, you put pressure to people get out of the run game, which has got them out of I think they came in, hey, we want to run and pound the ball, take time off the clock, do those pieces. Again, when we got up and you put a couple of extra scores on, now you get out of that game plan, and it helped us in that way. Again, I thought our guys played really well this way.
Couple of unheralded heroes that you've had throughout the course of the season. You lose Loke Yese to an injury early in the game, and he's a fantastic linebacker. So you got to go looking for answers. And, two guys that I put on my play sheet today, Armani Smith, Aiden Russell, they have been fantastic. Ty Combs comes in, does a nice job in that linebacker spot as well. You got some guys coming off the bench for you that are savoring every minute and every snap they get to be a Viking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think when you look at our Mike line, we're splitting reps, and Levi Olson and Aiden Russell are really good. And they probably could both be starting. I mean, they're both really talented, rangy guys and physical, and have done a really nice job for us. Tequez Chapman has played really well.
Yeah, he has.
He's done a lot of really good things all year for us, and Armani coming off the, rotating in the D-line. Those guys are, I've been very impressed with our guys overall and what they've done. And again, this is a great day to build from. We have a lot more to prove, and from where we've been, the last few games, there's a lot of positive pieces that we can build off of.
Who taught Dom Sotomayor that little toe drag that he had a couple of times today. He got both feet in. You only got to get one in at the college level. Was he thinking about playing on Sunday or something?
That was very impressive. That last catch he had on the sideline was a very impressive. He was full out of bounds, keeping his toes tapping inside. That was very impressive catch. So he's that kind of kid. We got to get him and find ways to continue to get him the ball because he's going to make those tough catches like that for you.
Now, bye week. And I don't know that this is one of those where you like to come back and play again, because I think the feel of the team right now is you went through a war with those 3 games and you got one, and now it's time to take a breath, right? I mean, that first bye after Augsburg might not have been a well-placed bye, but this one feels like it's kind of a well-placed bye, doesn't it?
I think it is. I think our guys can all use a little bit of refresher. I mean, we've been here since our guys spent a lot of their whole summer here. It's been a long track, and bodies take a wear on your season. A lot of illness going. I think it is a good time for us to take a little bit of a break and give our guys some time and recovery more than anything else. And we play physical football. You can see we can play good football out here. Now we just got to put that together and get all of our guys healthy, and we get it. Like I said, I told our guys that it's redemption tour. Like, we have a chance. You didn't like how that felt the first time. Well, now's your chance to make that feel differently. So that's the challenge, and we'll continue. We'll look forward to playing that way.
I don't even remember the last 3 games. All of a sudden, we got that paint bucket. And isn't it nice?
Oh, it is nice. I can't tell anybody how good this feels. There's been a lot of challenges this fall for us all the way around. It is so good to have our kids have a little bit of a positive piece after all they've been through. And there's a lot of challenges that they've been through and struggled through. And to have a day like this, it means a lot to our kids and our program. There's an unbelievable crowd. What's sad about this whole thing is, maybe going away and not getting to play this rival game again, because look at the crowd you had today.
Yeah.
And all the people that came out and cared about this thing. And that's just so unique in college football, and especially small. It is a great thing for us.
Well, Coach, you got the win in this one. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot
Thank
for the
you
time.
for your
Appreciate
coverage.
it. Dennis McCulloch joining us today, head coach of Viking football, in our post-game report. Vikings win by a final of 38-7. Next up for the Vikings, 2 weeks from today, they'll get back into action. And again, as you heard for the Viking head football coach, it's revenge tour. Opportunity to go on the road to Dakota State, get a win, bring Mayville in here, that kind of thing. That's what they're looking at coming up next. And so be on the lookout for that coming up in the future. But for now, it's a Viking bye week. Again, next up for the Vikings in general, volleyball coming up on October 15th down at Dakota Wesleyan University. That'll be next for them. And the women's basketball opener with the scrimmage against Dawson Community College coming up this week as well. But we're changing over the seasons. In the long run, the Vikings get a paint bucket victory, and that feels good. Your final score is 38-7. Want to thank all the fine sponsors that make it possible for all of us out there. We couldn't do it without you. So, again, thanks to everybody who joined us for that. Our thanks to Landon Peel. Took over a spotter's responsibility here today, along with what we had going on as far as our video camera work today. And Jaden just continues to get better and better all the time. Pretty soon, he's going to be the man up here in the booth. Right, Jaden?
I hope so. The settings are a little different on this now, but it's been fun, and it's a lot.
This
more
is
fun
Dr.
when Valley
Amanda
wins.
Heck.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to having you again, Jaden. Thank you for joining us today. For Viking football and for KOVC, I'm Ryan Cunningham saying so long. We'll talk to you again soon.
Here is your Egg Central forecast from meteorologist Mick Kerr. Tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Low temperatures will drop into the upper 30s to around 40. North-northwest winds 10 to 15. Could see some gusts as high as 23. Gusty again tomorrow as well. Sunny, high near 55. North-northwest winds 14 to 16. Gusting as high as 25. Sunday night, widespread frost, maybe after 3. Lows perhaps 30 or lower. And a high on Monday of 52. More weather, log on to newsdakota.com.